Hello. Hello. Gentlemen, how are we today? How are we doing today? Markiplier. That's the first thing I see. Just fucking Markiplier. Why? Saturday, true. Going to an opera. I've been to an opera once in my life. I don't even remember the show specifically. I think I enjoyed it. It's like 15 years ago. Reinstalling Fallout 3. Yeah, big Fallout news. Working on a remaster of both Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Man, I hope they do a good job. As I've been going through New Vegas, getting a proper remaster of that would be fucking cool, man. It's official. They're doing it. I hope it's good. Same for Fallout 3. If they remaster it, it better be good. That's my concern. Whenever I hear that a game is getting a remaster, sometimes it's good. Like, for example, the Metroid Prime remaster, I guess is the best word for it, that Nintendo put out for the Switch. That was pretty tight. They did a good job on polishing up the visuals, porting it over to a new console, and that was fine. But when it comes to other companies and other cases, my fear is, oh, we're just gonna AI upscale a bunch of textures, and we're gonna do the bare minimum, and we're not gonna preserve, say, the soul that the original visuals gave it to an extent, right? I feel like they're just gonna make it Unreal Engine hyper-realistic slop, and then leave it at that. That's my fear. I hope they don't do that. I hope they understand what they're working with and how deeply people care about that game, especially New Vegas. So we'll see what happens. Wonder if I can find I'll find that tweet because it's kind of worth looking at. Hold on. Let me like pull this up. Because like Bethesda. Here it is. I found it. I found it. Also. Oh, hello. Hey. What's up? What's poppin'? Yeah, I'm in the camp of I really can't trust Bethesda. I mean, obviously what happened is Microsoft got very angry that they're not really making them a lot of money anymore, and they clamped down and went, hey, start making money again, start actually doing things. And as a result, we got this. We got a nice big fat note from Bethesda and a whole bunch of shit. So first of all, who gives a fuck about Starfield? I feel like this section here is massive cope. That, like, over 17 million players logging almost 1 billion hours to date in Starfield, the game that no one talks about and no one cares about. I don't think I've heard anyone speak about this game since it was first released. I don't know why they're gonna keep pulling this disaster along, but apparently they are. Which I find, yeah, zero cultural relevance whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, that game's legacy is the guy screaming about pronouns. That is the lasting legacy of this game, not the game itself, which I find massively hilarious. Guys, they can't work on a good remaster because they're more focused on Skyrim. Well, they're doing, Elder Scrolls 6, which is going to be happening at some point. I've seen gameplay from Starfield from my brother, and I have not heard a peep about it from him. And also, from what I saw, it's really boring. Yeah, it definitely drew in not nearly as big of an audience as they wanted. So, I find that funny. So, who gives a fuck about Starfield? You know, created by players. I don't care. Future of Fallout. This is the nugget I'm interested in right here. I like the summer update, not gonna lie. Most of the maps, especially Redwood, were really fun. Hats were decent. Sandwich Diner is my new favorite war paint. Servers also worked perfectly for me. Maybe I'm lucky. I think you were lucky on the servers part. So, in regards to the TF2 summer update this year, Overall, the update was, I mean, fine. It wasn't egregiously disgusting and full of sloppier slop than what we normally get. But it's not what TF2 needs right now. Most of the maps are fine, whatever. At least it's not Odyssey or Phoenix or fucking Embargo or SeaWorld that we got last year, right? At least it's none of that. Redwood is basically another flavor of that because of how it just looks like it's from a completely different game altogether. Personally, I don't like that map at all. So, whatever. But like, sure, the cosmetics are whatever. It's another 30 on the pile, right? Another 30 cosmetics on the pile. The war paints were the highlight, in my opinion. But yeah, the update wasn't as bad as it was in previous years' summer updates, which is, I think everyone can agree on that based on like the subterranean bar we've set for ourselves, given the past, you know, theme park updates we've received, and also when we got like less for summer updates. But as I talked about in that stream, like, it's not what we need right now. TF2 doesn't need more toys. It's had plenty of toys since 2013. TF2 needed fixes and actual attention, everything else since that point, and Valve hasn't done anything meaningful with the game since then, you know, other than putting in a disgusting matchmaking system that broke, whatever. Interesting to see you talking about Bethesda stuff, Zesty. I don't think you were getting into Fallout already. I'm enjoying Fallout, and I've also played a lot of Fallout 76, so it's cool to see. It's cool to see where this is going. I'm a LARPer. I know I've not played Fallouts 1 through 3. I know I'm a massive LARPer. I'll get around to it eventually, but this stuff interests me because I have friends that really like Fallout. I have friends that really enjoy Fallout. I'm enjoying Fallout New Vegas. So, is 76 good? If you twist my arm hard enough, I'll say yes. But, objectively, in comparison to Vegas, no, it's not. It doesn't even come close. Like, in my opinion, 76 does not even come close to how good of a game New Vegas is. It's not. Did I have fun playing it with friends? Sure. But here's the thing, Zesty, at a certain point, LARPer just means you're trying. See, I suppose that's true. Like, at least I'm trying. Like, I'm actually playing the games a little bit instead of just sitting at the sidelines and watching the garbage Netflix show. My God. So, there is that. But, yeah, and I would say Fallout 76 was Bethesda. Well, I mean, this is just objectively true. You know, it's their big foray into live service monetization, and the way they monetize that game is egregious. I think it's disgusting. I think it does everything every other live service game does, where it imposes various inconveniences onto the player, effectively forcing them to spend the extra money for their monthly subscription after you pay full price for the game, which is insane to me. It's like, dude, I paid full price for your fucking game, just give me all these things right away. And when it comes to cosmetics and other bullshit, fine, whatever. But it's a big pile of slop. It is. 76 is a big pile of slop. I'll just say that part out loud. Anyway, yeah. So on to the future of Fallout. Fallout is one of our biggest priorities today. Yeah, because that's like the thing people care about. Fallout 5 remains our long-range destination, and we have multiple Fallout projects in active development right now. Fallout 76 continues to be home to millions of players exploring Appalachia together, with nearly 70 free updates. 70 free updates, except you have to pay money for a lot of the cosmetics or to get the stuff faster, otherwise you miss out. The journey is far from over. In fact, we have a major Fallout 76 expansion planned for next year, Raven Rock, a prequel story to Fallout 3. Interesting. A lot of what gets added into Fallout 76 is just a lot more what I could describe as additional activities with friends and things to grind your daily. Like, having dailies and weeklies and other challenges like that in a Fallout game, I think is evil. It's not what Fallout is. Fallout is not a daily login game. It's a story-driven game. And when you impose that onto a story-driven game and a game that's heavily dependent on immersion and role-playing, I mean, I guess it plays into the role-playing part because, like, oh yeah, I can invest a bunch of money into, like, my house and how my character looks and my goofy weapons and shit. It's just... Anyway. Fallout 4, the most award-winning game in the franchise, even though I hear a lot of mixed reviews about Fallout 4, just celebrated its 10-year anniversary. It's been over 10 years since Fallout 4, it's nuts. And recently passed over 35 million copies sold. Only 35 million? Continuing to attract a new audience every year, okay? We also know many players want to revisit previous Fallout experiences. While we're not announcing any dates, we have been working on remasters for both Fallout 3 and New Vegas. This, I find exciting, because I enjoy New Vegas, and if they do a nice remaster on 3, that'll give me a much bigger incentive to go play Fallout 3, so hell yeah. I just hope they do a good job. If you're getting into Fallout, would Skyrim playthrough be on the table? Maybe, sure. I know it's a good game. Hey, Zesty, it's been a whole, I'm assuming you meant to say while, been a while since I caught the last stream. Been busy getting OG Xbox and 360 games, been a bit out of the loop. What's this about making Valve nervous? I'll get to that shortly, don't worry. I have not, I will speak about the update on the update on the update on the update in a moment. But I want to cover this first. I'll speak about the update on the update and the update on the update on the update. Yeah, updates. We'll get to that in a minute. Don't worry. So, I'm excited about these remasters. I hope they do a good job because New Vegas is, let's be honest, it's a fucking mess in terms of its performance. The crashes and the actual hardware performance are pretty unacceptable. Yes, you can play it out of the box. Yes, you can finish it. But I shouldn't need to install a bunch of mods just to make the game stable so I can go back and have an enjoyable experience, right? So I'm really excited that a remaster is going to put it onto, you know, at least up to modern standards in terms of performance, where I'm not going to have to go through a billion loading screens and have my game crash on me every 10 minutes. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, right? But having to bend over backwards and do all this extra shit to make my game not do that is a major pain in the ass. And so seeing that go away is going to be great. And then additionally, when it comes to Fallout 3, if it's a good remaster, I will absolutely play that too. 5 gift memberships from Chubbs. Thank you. It's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Incredibly generous of you. Yeah, I know that's like the concern is that it's going to be Unreal Engine 5 slop. That's what I said a moment ago. I really, really, really hope that they preserve, because one thing I really enjoy about New Vegas in my playthrough so far is despite it being a very rushed game and being very crunchy, I guess is a good adjective I can put on it, I do like the way it looks. The vibe it gives off with the environment, it feels very desolate and scorched as you would expect from a post-apocalyptic world. I hope they preserve that charm in whatever they do for the remaster. I know I've not gotten to the actual Vegas part yet, so I don't know how that looks, and that might, you know, that might make me disappointed. I don't know. But long story short, I just hope that they pick up the slack on what they cut corners on with New Vegas with this remaster. I want it to be good, not keeping my hopes up, because when it comes to modern developers and companies and shit, then you know how it works. But something else interesting, I don't know if y'all caught this, but don't worry, we'll get to the MVM stuff. We have not done that yet. Don't worry. The title stuff we'll get to in just a moment. I want to cover this Fallout stuff and Microsoft stuff. I don't know if y'all heard. Well, I don't really care about this. I guess this is important. The Wasteland continues to expand as we team up once again with our longtime friends at Obsidian Entertainment. We're happy to confirm they're working with us on a new Fallout project. So Obsidian is working on whatever the next project is. Zesty really ought to play 3, I think. People are very vitriolic about it, but it's genuinely a very important game, and it'll give you more grounded perspective on the series history. Of course I'm going to play it. I don't care what people think about it. I'm going to play it regardless. If people fucking hate it, I don't care. I'll play it anyway. We're also bringing our teams closer together across Bethesda. ZeniMax Online Studios will partner closely with Bethesda Game Studios on the Elder Scrolls franchise. while continuing to deliver an incredible new experience for Elder Scrolls Online. Don't care. Elder Scrolls, 6 is on the horizon. That's eventually going to come. That's eventually going to get here. Beyond that, yada 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 yada. We hit the main stuff. So, I also heard. I forgot where I think I was watching like a Linus Tech Tips clip that big layoffs happening inside of game companies right now, including Microsoft, which is very interesting to see. And so I think a lot of these game companies finally woke up post-COVID bloat and realized, oh shit, we've dumped too many people into middle management that's making actual game development a fucking nightmare. So let's fire all the people we don't need and start making good games again, because we're losing money. I need to find that clip. I need to hunt that down. Jan, I think you sent that in my Discord. Can you shoot me that? Here, Richter just DM me. Hello, Richter. Yeah, my fucking mod, because and I know someone sent that clip. Hold on, I gotta hunt that down because I think I want to watch that on stream too. Listen, I gotta talk about things other than TF2 sometimes, guys. Don't worry, I'll get to the TF2 stuff. I even have a couple of TF2 videos to watch today. Ah, yes, it was you that sent this to me. Okay, here, I'm gonna pull this up because I want to watch this. Only because Valve is in the title. Only because Valve's in this title. The title is Valve Gets Away with This. I wanna listen to this.
Xbox has hit a giant reset button, plans a massive corporate restructure, cutting 20% of the workforce and offloading 5 studios.
Firing 20% of your workforce is fucking insane. 1 out of 5 employees gone. That's fucking nasty. Man.
They've announced 3,200 role eliminations. So 1,600 when it was announced, 1,600 by end of year, on top of the 1,600 others across Microsoft's workforce.
Ouch. They had like 14 circles before reaching the tops. Outside of that, they fired like 4,000 people and 2,600 from Xbox. Yeah, I think they get to this.
Shifting investment to focus on higher priority projects in the case of Xbox, like Halo, Minecraft, and The Elder Scrolls.
And also, they're crunching away on Fallout, which is nice to see.
Letter written by Asha Sharma, Xbox apparently grew their business too fast during COVID,
as
making teams
so many others did,
larger than they were at the start of this generation.
Oh my god!
With up to 14 layers of management for decisions.
I want you to think about that for a second. Imagine running a company and you have to go through minimum 14 different people to relay a message from top to bottom. 14, and that's 14 people. We're talking 14 layers, meaning there were multiple people in each of these layers. What the fuck were they doing during COVID, hiring on all of these people? Like, I don't have the brain for big business. I don't have the brain for understanding, like, larger overarching reasons why companies would do this. But as a simpleton like myself, from my point of view, why are you hiring so many people? Like, for me, I come from the perspective of Valve, where they have no employees and they're making massive bank. Like, Valve makes billions with like 2 layers of management. The useless adult daycare jobs, absolutely. I'll put the music back on because I think the video doesn't have any. Yeah, the useless adult daycare jobs is definitely something I've seen. Do you guys remember that clip? I think I saw this too. Did you guys see that clip from it was on Twitter a long time ago, where it was this chick filming her workday. I think it was at Twitter. I'm pretty sure it was Twitter. She was filming her workday at Twitter, where it's like this luxurious, fluffy, pillowy day in my life type of thing, where like I wake up at 9 and then I go to the gym and then I hit the office at 11:30. I answer my emails by 11:45. I go get my free business lunch. Like I get my free business lunch. I get like my what's the acai bowl, right? That's just chock full of sugar. White women love that shit, you know? I get my free acai bowl business lunch with my Mai Tai at 2 p.m. and then I go take a nap in the business lounge, so on and so forth. So many companies were doing that and hiring on so many people that just weren't working, and they were paying them a lot of money. So what I don't understand is why. What I don't understand is why. Why were companies doing this? Because if the motive is profit and churning out product for people to buy and turn a profit, why would any company bloat their system with 14 layers of management? I need someone with a deeper understanding of these things to explain this to me, because that it just doesn't register. Like, are you insane, Microsoft? What are you doing? You know? I don't get it.
Now they're cutting back as margins are 3 to 10 times lower than the competition, and Big Green has lost 64 cents for every dollar they invested. Whew. Instead of just
losing 64% of your money getting invested? Wow. They were burning through money. Holy shit. No wonder they fired so many people.
shutting down 5 studios, Xbox has allowed Compulsion Games and Double Fine to transition to independent studios.
This is good to hear.
Catalog and runway for their next games.
This is good to hear. They're not just completely axing these studios. These people get to keep their jobs, and then they're, you know, kind of sending them off to pasture, I guess, instead of just offing them outright.
Undead Labs and Ninja Theory will be sold to undisclosed buyers, and their games State of Decay 3 and Senua will still be released. Senua? I'm actually not sure. Arcane Lion, maker of Dishonored, Deathloop, and upcoming Blade game, is in the initial phases of quote-unquote,
Blade?
exploring other
Blade as in Marvel Blade? They're making a Blade game? I hope that's good, because I think Blade is a very underutilized franchise. I do like that one. Dude, if they make a good Blade game that's like a badass beat 'em up, third-person beat 'em up, I'd play that shit. Like Ninja Gaiden, dude? Yeah.
But this wasn't the end. Later this week, id Software lost about half
of its
workforce, approximately 90 people, and has been reduced to the size of the team that released Doom 2016. Meanwhile, Obsidian lost about 25...
See, my interpretation of that, if you were able to make Doom 2016, which is, in my opinion, one of the best games ever made, with half the current labor force, you didn't need the additional 90. Obviously, you were onboarding way too many people. They wanted to tail Lion of share from gaming for themselves. That's why they were buying all the studios, but apparently they forgot to do stuff. I think what you meant to type is that they're trying to take the lion's share of gaming development away from their competition and absorbing as many subsidiaries as they could. Definitely could see an angle from that.
5%, so this is 60 to 70 people, and Avowed 2 has been cancelled, although a small team will continue to work on the game in hopes of it getting uncancelled while they wait for a new Fallout project.
I'm concerned about that. That feels like that group is maybe in the second part of this layoff. That's how I read that. Hopefully not.
Let's
hope
not.
I read that.
That's probably going to go.
I wanted to note
unfortunately,
is that Microsoft
if a game is canceled and they're still letting some people dabble with it, it's done. It's gone. It's not sticking around. I'm sorry.
Investments and projects going on that were not just in Microsoft Studios. So like IO Interactive.
Don't worry. This is Valve related. I want to see why this is Valve related. Bear with me.
Developer who also
we'll get to the MVM stuff in a bit.
007 game.
I heard their adaptive controller, their accessibility team got absolutely brutalized as part of this, which
I'm not surprised.
Really sucks, because that's something that
those were industry leading, and people use them for things outside of just Xbox. That's really unfortunate.
I mean, I'm not surprised, honestly.
Yeah, so
as much as that sucks when it comes to Microsoft wanting to make pure profit, that like they can't do charity case stuff. They're not gonna do charity case stuff anymore until they start turning profits again. Hey, Zesty Gambler here. I miss her a lot. I think I'm gonna call her. Listen, My advice, totally unrelated to video games. My advice, if you ever get the inkling, not the inkling, if you ever get the urge to communicate with an ex, don't. Don't do it. That will be the biggest mistake you will ever commit in your life, is attempting to communicate with an ex. Do not do it. They are no longer the person that you were dating. They've changed, and they view you differently. In their eyes, you are no longer the same person. Do not attempt to reach out to an ex. Don't do it.
Active is fine, to be clear, but I think they were working on an RPG or a fantasy type game, which would be a little bit different for them. And
unless you meant like your mom, then obviously call your mom.
The funding for that, somehow, some reason, not sure, maybe it's supposed to be on Game Pass, I don't know, was through Microsoft, and that funding is gone. So IO has had to respond with
peak advice, by the way. So it was an X. There you go.
Apparently the project isn't canceled, but I think a studio is closed. And there were some other miscellaneous.
It's a shame that entire studios get clipped, because it's like, especially when it's a studio that made good games or can make good games, they just kind of snip off the vestigial limbs and send them off in a way, which is a goddamn shame, because they lose a lot of talents because they couldn't cut the bloat from internal portions of the company first. Hate that shit. Makes me sad.
Layoffs.
I think that we can all agree that layoffs are bad. I don't think there's a winner. I don't think consumers win. I don't think they're getting, more or better products necessarily.
Linus, I disagree. I think as a result of these layoffs, we are going to start getting much better products, because when the company is not efficient and when you have 14 layers of management scattering around what the intended project could and should be, that means the quality of the games we are receiving absolutely went down, especially over the past 10 years. I think a lot of us can agree that a lot of modern games are just not good. Like Starfield, for example. The current bloat from Microsoft squirted that dog shit out. Now that they're gone, they're probably going to make good games again. So when it comes to these layoffs, yeah, it sucks people lost their job. I'm not happy that anyone lost their job, but are we, the consumers, going to benefit? Absolutely. Because two things are going to happen. One, they're going to start making better games now, which means they're going to start turning higher profit margins, which in turn hopefully means that they're not going to charge $100 per game because their profits are better. Because one of the big drivers for driving game prices up is because of all the bullshit bloat these companies had. Because when you have 40% of your workforce that you can easily cleave off, you're burning through a shitload of money. So ideally, it will hopefully stave off $100 games. I hope. That's my hope anyway. That's my wishful thinking. Sure, I will have wishful thinking in the stance. You can call me an idiot. I don't care. It does mean these companies are going to be more focused on creating the kind of games that are profitable and have demonstrated genuine appeal. That is a double-edged sword, true. Love the vids you make. Sorry to change subjects. Have you heard of Bloop, the TF2 puppet guy? Yes, we covered Bloop's departure from YouTube a few streams back. It was sad to see him go, but I'm glad he's off to greener pastures.
Early out of a layoff. I don't think the employees win. Not having your job
definitely
throws your whole life into uncertainty. Like our man, it's amazing as adults how much of maybe not everyone, but for me, my job is a huge part of my identity and my value.
Basically, the first question
I think you're lucky. This is unrelated to gaming, but I think you are very lucky and very fortunate if your job can be associated with your person. Because I think most people do not associate their job with their person. He's in a very fortunate position to own his own company and his own YouTube channels and shit, where he has that luxury, but where I'm sure many people in this chat right now don't exactly view what they do for a living as part of their person. Like, yeah, I sell underwear at a department store. Is that who I am as a person? No. I do wish for everyone to hopefully reach a job in that in that span of life to find something that is fulfilling, but most people, they're widget makers. They make widgets and they sell them.
People meet you is what do you do?
Not literally, but you get my point.
Yeah, and that really is it. That's it.
When you're in high school, when you're in elementary school, it's like, what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
High school, it's like band.
What are you studying? Or that's maybe more college.
University is what
I
you
just got a
study.
job last month after 3 years of nothing, and I'm quite enjoying it. That's good, man. How many of you enjoy your job? And by enjoy, I mean you don't hate it. That's the better question. How many of you don't hate your job? If you don't hate your job, just type yes. Solution: be a farmer and engineer. A lot of people say a lot of people say that they're fine. A lot of people say yes, they don't hate their job, which is fantastic to see. A lot of no's, though. A lot of no's. Not keen, but it could be worse. I think that's the sentiment for a lot of people. Love my job, that's fantastic. That's good. It's good to see that a lot of people here don't hate a jobless. Yeah, it's life also. If personal, people that don't want to say this in chat. How many of you are unemployed? Actually, let's poll. Let's see how unemployed my audience is. Are you employed? Actually, let's do it better. Are you a NEET? See how many NEETs are in my audience. We'll see where this goes. Remember, NEET means you are not in education, employment, or training. If you're not employed, if you're not in education, or you're not in some kind of training for a job, that means you're a NEET. Not in education, employment, or training. So if you're in college, that means you're in education. Therefore, you're doing something with your time.
Post-universities, what do you do?
What do you do? And they don't mean Tiddlywinks tournaments on the weekend.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I don't think it's a win.
Tiddlywinks tournaments on the weekend or 6.
Also, no offense, I'm probably gonna get shit for this. There's a lot of people that want to be something, but they just can't do it. I've met a lot of people that really want to be a specific thing. Like they want to be a game designer, they want to be a writer, they want to be a musician, or they want to do something, and they just can't do it. They're not the kind of person that can hold down that kind of job. They're just not built for it, either cognitively or physically. And I think you do those people a disservice when you give them a job that they're obviously not wired for. Because all you're doing is giving them this false notion that they're doing something beneficial for themselves and for society. I mean, perhaps beneficial for themselves in the short term because they make money, but in the long term, it's not sustainable. And I think obviously what's happened in these companies is they gave a lot of jobs to people like that were clearly not needed, and they fired them. And so this idea that like, okay, I have this job that I can associate to my person, like, oh my God, I'm working for a game company, I'm a game designer now, what have you. But then it's like, okay, are you actually good at your job? No? Bye. You're not built for this.
I don't think it's a win for Microsoft either. I don't think Microsoft wants to be in a position where they're terminating jobs.
Oh, I think they'll be fine.
They wanted to be in a position where they had 100 million Game Pass subscriptions, and they thought this was the path there. This wasn't what they wanted.
Microsoft is A-okay letting these people go.
Layoffs bad across the board. Can I ask a question though? And if the answer is that's a stupid question, I'm open to that. I
like questions like this.
But I want to ask a question here.
Does a YouTuber count as a NEET? No, I don't think so. I think if you are earning a livable wage as a YouTuber, I would technically count that as self-employed. If you're earning enough to live as a YouTuber, you are self-employed. Or if you're doing the same as, say, a freelance artist or really any kind of freelance gig, and you're earning enough to support yourself, I consider that being self-employed, and you're not a NEET. No. You're using some kind of skill set to support yourself and your family. Does developing a game with no money count as work? I would say no. I think what qualifies you to not be a NEET is you're earning money to live your life.
Is it better to expand like crazy and hire a bunch of people and try and do all this stuff?
Clearly not.
And have layoffs?
Clearly it's not a good thing
Or
because
is it
because the
better
end result is the layoffs. Obviously
Just
not a good thing.
Never hire anybody in the first place and just be obscenely profitable.
See now, okay,
It
well.
occurred to me just because it came up.
I wonder who does that. I wonder who does this. Huh. I wonder who they could be. Who could they be speaking of here?
For like the fourth time in the last few months that Valve's a really small company. Yeah, but are they though?
Yes, they are.
Are they?
Yes.
Valve chooses to have several hundred employees
Yes.
while being one of, if not the most profitable companies per head count.
Yes.
And the reason this came up this week was because I was talking about sort of like how they just keep acting like such a tiny little company. Like Steam controllers are back ordered until mid next year or something like that. Don't quote me on the exact date. And I'm sure they're hoping.
Oh man, I love. Oh yes, that is so true. Okay, I completely agree with this shit, man. Valve absolutely. They don't say this explicitly. Valve does not say this explicitly ever, but they absolutely abuse their position as, okay, they abuse the image that they've given themselves over the years, that they've crafted for themselves over the years as this small little indie company to get away with things other big companies would not be allowed to get away with, right? Because Valve puts out the Steam machine. They put out their brand new computers. And like, oh, sorry, we have part shortages and we have to bump up the prices because we just couldn't predict this. We had no idea this is happening. It's totally out of our control. When probably any other company could find a way to not have to jack up their prices and get their hardware out to people, you know?
To, hit it at an accelerated schedule and all that. And they may over-deliver. To be clear, I don't want to trash on Valve here.
You should.
But also,
please,
we give a really
we
hard
need more
time
Valve hate
to companies who overhire and lay people off.
Yes, we do.
And I feel like Valve gets a free pass for just being like,
not having created the jobs.
This is one of the biggest people. That's why I wanted to show this on stream. This is one of the biggest voices on YouTube in gaming and tech sphere chipping at the facade of Valve, right? Just chipping at the facade, just like, oh, just picking at it. Yes! Yes! Oh, it makes me so happy. Fuck yes, finally. People are waking up. They're realizing what Valve actually is and how long and how much time they've put into crafting this image, this galvanized facade for themselves, to make them look as good as possible, to get away with shit that no other company would be allowed to get away with. I'm currently on a break at my job watching your stream. I have to go back to work now, but I have a great rest of your stream. I love what I do for my job. It's not exactly what I've wanted or continue to want to do. I'm okay though. That's good, man. My stance is if you don't hate your fucking job, you're probably in a good position. You're definitely in a good position if you don't hate your job, which is fucking fantastic.
In the first place.
Buy the yacht manufacturer wealthy and just never hiring anybody and then going, oh, woe is me. I simply cannot
Why do they do
a
this?
longer press briefing for the most important product of the year because we're a really small you have to understand, we're a really small company.
Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering.
Give them shit. You should.
Why there seems to be a double standard here. To be clear, Microsoft created this situation.
Yes.
This
is
wrote
good.
the story
Massive
where they're
double
the villain
standard.
of the
Thank
story.
you.
They also bought out other studios in order to do that.
Because they didn't have to do that.
So they gobbled up all the jobs and then deleted them, which is worse.
And Valve paints themselves, right? Valve has presented themselves as this small indie company forever through one major means, and it's outsourcing their labor to contractors for a mere fraction of what they would be paying a full-time employee. They cracked the code on becoming the most profitable business by doing this. That's how they get away with having 300 employees, is because they offload the work onto non-employees and give them a fraction of what they would be giving a full-time hire. Because that's not a yearly salary. There's no benefits. They're not even having to meet taxes on the money they pay these people if they're working in America. They just give them a lump sum on the contractor on the contract, and then those people have to pay their own taxes. They don't get the benefits. They just get the raw cash, and it's absolutely not the same amount of money they'd be giving a full-time employee. That's how they do it. That's how they're insanely profitable. And they figured all of this out with Team Fortress 2. They figured it out with Team Fortress 2. Is it illegal? No. Subcontracting is fully legal. Subcontracting is a fully legal thing you can do in America. You sign a piece of paper, hey, I'm going to pay you to do this job, but I'm not bringing you on as an employee. Here's your money. You have to pay taxes on that. It's not illegal. Well, that's how YouTube pays YouTubers. YouTubers are subcontractors. They're not employees of Google. They get royalties on advertising revenue. And then whenever you're doing whenever you have a sponsor on your video, you're paid a royalty as a subcontractor. And then you have to pay taxes on that. That's how so many people live their lives. And that's how Valve makes their money. And they figured out this model and they perfected it with Team Fortress 2. And they realized they could do that with everything. Not just making toys to sell to their players in their video games, but everything. Coding, fucking, I don't know, not HR, but customer service, all that shit. If it's not automated already by AI, which Valve loves to do, then it's absolutely being outsourced to someone that's not an employee. That's how they crack the code. And it's so good seeing other people fucking just getting at this. Yes!
Unless we don't know what situation those companies that were gobbled up were in. Like, fair. I remember...
Zesty, was it true that the Water Waiters guy wanted to improve team recognition on painted versions and Valve said no? Or was that a fake story? So it turns out, I believe, that the email, I think, was fake. I have to confirm with my sources, but the guy reaching out to Valve about the Water Waiters was recorded in-game saying that he lied about sending the email. He wrote it, but then he lied about sending it, and so there was never a response from Valve saying no. So it's not that Valve said, no, we won't change the Water Waiters, it's that they never sent the email in the first place. So that was another shitty act by a workshopper. Surprise, surprise. Have to triple confirm that with the guy who's the guys, actually there's multiple people that sent me that clip of him talking in game. But yeah, that was bullshit. So they never actually asked Valve if they could change the paint region.
I remember talking back when I toured Monolith, right? They talked about the difficulty of being an independent studio. Yeah. How you basically you starve while you develop what is hopefully a home run hit. And then you eat, and realistically,
that's a weird thing to do, Richter. I don't think you understand. Actually, I know you don't. I know you don't understand just how strange the flavor of person is that resides in these Emporium circles. I really don't think you fully grasp. And I think I barely fully grasp it myself either, because I can't. I'm not going to pretend that I understand psychopathy. But the people that reside in these circles are amongst very mentally ill, very terminally online, and literally insane people. These people do drugs. Not all of them. Some of them do. These people are drug addicts. They're megalomaniacs. They're narcissists. It's... every gaming community has this, right? Every gaming community has these people, especially when they kind of recede into tight-knit groups on Discords. But these people they're not like you and me. Richter. You know, we're video game autists, but we're like at least somewhat normal. If you want anything other than normal, go have a look inside the Emporium. Hang around these people for a little while. You'll be convinced that there's a lot of crazy people out there in the world.
People at launch anyway, because you don't need QA when you're sitting at the like conceptualizing stage of your next title. And then you like ramp up again, and then you're starving, and then you hopefully hit a home run again. Like, it's also very challenging. Like, live service games came around because the feast or famine nature of the games industry is really, really challenging.
It is interesting that you mentioned Monolith, because aren't they gone?
They are gone.
We kind of skipped a question. You asked me.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Because once a game was sold, that was it. They no longer make money on it. I don't know if it was... Would you agree that live service was birthed out of the feast or famine aspect of developing games? I'm not sure. I think once game companies realized they could just keep selling the same game to people over and over again, they, you know, developed a new model, and they can just milk that for profit. I suppose there is some truth in that. Where it's like, okay, they have to keep making a new game every year in order to keep making money, or multiple games. When it's like, okay, now we don't have to do that. We can just have one successful game and then keep making shitloads of money. And I suppose this is also further reinforced by the fact that you keep seeing these massive companies like Microsoft keep throwing shit at the wall until something sticks, and eventually, we finally we get our big one. We get our big live service title, and that's going to carry us into the sunset for 10 years, right? I mean, that's what we're seeing with Grand Theft Auto, right? Especially GTA. Feast or famine is just the nature of entrepreneurship. That is also very true. Yes, it is. And I mean, we're seeing that with Grand Theft Auto, right? We're seeing with GTA, where, you know, they figured out, okay, with fucking GTA 5, boom, we don't need to make another game for 10 years. We just ride this fucking train and make billions. And now that that's been completely exhausted, they're dedicating an insane amount of resources, an insane amount of time and money to make GTA 6. It's a multi-billion-dollar production. A multi-billion-dollar production, because they know that people are going to jump from 5 to 6, and it's going to make them 10 times the amount of money it took to produce it. Because it's going to be another live service model. They figured it out with GTA, and now they're going to do it again. Unrelated, but seats coming to Minecraft might be from the new Xbox CEO stepping in and realizing their old rules for developing the game really sucked. I don't know about that. I think adding chairs that you sit in Minecraft isn't really a sign that their handling of Minecraft is going to change anytime soon. I'm just not seeing it. Am I hoping GTA 6 fails? No, of course not. Of course I want GTA 6 to be a good game. But I just think it's insane that it's costing over $2 billion at this stage. It's probably more. Which is insane to think about. Think about that. $2 billion for a game development. Huh? Did they get their money back, though? Did they get their money back? I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah, and that's also the real question. Is GTA 6 going to be better than GTA 5? We'll see. Didn't pre-orders make more money than the whole production of GTA 6? If that's true, damn. Actually, I want to like check that. GTA 6 pre-order. No. From what Grok is telling me, anyways, my AI of choice. Let me see if I can find like some actual sources here. GTA is on SAC. Here we go. Here's like a publication. GTA 6 on track for the strongest pre-order campaign ever recorded in up to 5 billion sales by the end of launch week? Released a dedicated analysis of GTA 6 pre-orders tabulated so far. Okay, so far, it's $180 million, okay? $180 million, up to be as high as $260 million for pre-orders, okay? So, like, they're projecting that it's going to be billions, but they've not made their money back yet. Right now, it's at the hundreds of millions stage. They've made back like a sixth of their budget with pre-orders, which is already pretty remarkable. The fact that people are spending, what, $80 on a pre-order? I'm looking at an article now. So, like, don't dog what some of these AI things can do for you. They're very good at consolidating information. You've already been doing that by using Google for the past 20 years. So going to the actual sources it gives you instead of reading the summary is the smartest thing to do, because whatever the summary tells you is going to be whatever AI blurbs out at you, and it's usually going to be wrong. But if you go to the source, it's fine. And I'm looking at an article right now. So 260 million on the high end of pre-orders for GTA 6 is crazy. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, $80 for a game? Sorry, I'm not spending that money. I like Grand Theft Auto, but I'm not dropping $80 on a game. It has to blow me. I have to be shipped what would they have to send me in the mail to justify like an $80 purchase? They would have to send me like a copy, like an actual box of the game, like an actual like CD disc box of the game with like a pair of bimbo lips on it. It has to suck me off and give me a blowjob for me to drop $80 on a fucking game, because I'm not gonna do it otherwise. Like, I need some other kind of incentive to do it. One-time use, which is fine, but like you gotta give me something else here. I'm not like, unless I know the game is immensely like, if I know the game is immaculate, sure. But I'm not dropping I'm not putting $80 on any kind of fucking pre-order. I hate Rockstar Games. I'm not their biggest fan either. Oh yeah, that's right. $80 is the light version. $100 is you get the full game, which is also insane. $100, but isn't like the extra $20 just like mostly cosmetic stuff? Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, the $100 pre-order is mostly cosmetic shit. Which is, I mean, fine, whatever. You're dropping $20 extra needlessly. It doesn't give you additional gameplay. But the fact that they're doing it, oh, it's pretty bad, man. The fact they're doing it is pretty fucking evil. Is it extra story stuff? I don't know the full details. Pre-orders were always a scam, and anyone who said otherwise is a golem. I think in earlier times when a pre-order really just meant reserving your copy, back when you would go to like a GameStop and buy a physical copy of a game, I think it was fine back then because you're just, kind of jumping ahead in the line by paying early. I think that's fine. But once things moved over onto digital marketplaces where companies can get away with with putting out a game before actually finishing it and selling you a lackluster product that they wouldn't have been able to get away with in like 2006 or 2004, then yeah, absolutely. Pre-ordering a digital copy of any game is not a smart thing to do, because at least at this stage, because this is the norm. The norm is that they're gonna ship something that's not done. Day one launch, it's going to be buggy, it's going to be fucked, because they can get away with doing that. You have increased liberties with game development when everyone has a high-speed internet connection. You don't have to worry about those things anymore, because they can just retroactively put out a patch day one or like week one. Oh, sorry, all the cars are missing wheels. We had an oopsie whoopsie fucky wucky during playtesting, and we didn't find this one massive bug that just turned every car into a cinder block. Don't worry though, we'll patch that out. That kind of thing. So, yeah, when it comes to pre-ordering games now, don't do it. Especially because you're not guaranteed a fix. Of course, it's in the company's best interest to do that, otherwise they're gonna piss off a lot of people and then you're gonna get refunds, so on and so forth, at least on Steam. But when it comes down to other companies that may not be so thorough and may be potentially unwilling to follow through on finishing their product, or finishing their product in a timely manner, like Cyberpunk, for example. Cyberpunk finally got finished and put into a more stable state, but it took them how long to do that? Right? Cyberpunk on launch was a fucking disaster? Shit like that, right? Because you're not guaranteed a functional game immediately. It might take years before you're given a functional game, a complete game, right? What's that fucking game called? Star Citizen? Is that shit still going? Yeah, Star Citizen. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, I had a buddy of mine that got into this game called Star Citizen. Hold on, let me like pull this up. Yo, there's like no reason for this web. This is still an alpha. That's insane. Hold on. Hang on a minute. Here, give me the Star Citizen shit. Hold on. Of course they like make me sign in to look at anything. That's fucking ridiculous. Hang on. Here we go. StarCitizen.com. Right. This shit has been going on for like 15 years at this point. If like for maybe like over 10. It's been going on for like over 10 years. This game has been in development for like 10 years. It's still not done. And they took so much money from people buying into this game early. It should be criminal what this game was doing for years. Fucking criminal. Like, I had a friend that was excited about this game 12 years ago, okay? And they were selling you spaceships. Like, they were selling you early supporter spaceships in 2013 for like $250 or like $1,000. And they were selling all this shit and and definitely other things all this time, and the game is still not done. Like, I have to know how much money this game has raised by people throwing money at it, and it's still not fucking complete. And this is what I mean, and this is what, you know, this goes back to the overarching point of don't spend money on a game before it's done. Especially now when everything is a digital download, because you're never going to be guaranteed a finished game like this. This is never going to be done. They figured out how to make an insane amount of money without ever actually finishing the game. Like, there's some stuff done with it. You can play kind of what they've made. I haven't looked at what you can do in this game in a long time, but the last time I checked in, they were selling you like $250, $1,000 doohickeys for an incomplete game. Like, you couldn't even fly your ships. Like, this is a long time ago. You can probably fly your ships now. They were selling you multi-$100 spaceships that you couldn't even fly. You could look at them inside of your hangar, but you couldn't use them. That was 10 years ago. I don't know what the fuck they're doing now. Yeah, they're the tier supporter packages and shit. Hold on, I want to Google that. Star Citizen tier supporter packages. Brother, you've got to be kidding, and this game is still not done. Holy shit. Look at what these go up to $2,600. $15,000. What? Nuh-uh. There's no, and you know someone dropped 42 grand on this. You know someone did. It just keeps going. That is, and then of course, like, the cheaper ones are discontinued. The most expensive thing they're selling is a $42,000 package of shit. How, okay, yeah, let's see what the AI say. How much money has Star Citizen raised? Show me. 1 billion. They passed $1 billion in funding a month ago, 2 months ago. $1 billion, and the game is still not done. What are they doing? What? These people gave them $1 billion for a game that is still in alpha. Huh? What are you doing? Holy cattle! My God! Wake up! Pull the cord out of the back of your head! Jesus Christ! That's insane! I can't believe who this game is I can't believe how this game is pulling in millions per day in crowdfunding. Wild! Ahoy again, it's been a while since I watched. Got kicked out of my house. Everything is working out. Got a place to live. Keep on keeping on. Jesus Christ, man. Hopefully things work out better for you. $42,000 for like an show me the person that dropped a like a median year's salary on an unfinished game. I got a bridge to sell you. Holy fuck, dude. How are people not talking about this? What is NEET? Oh, the poll is still going. Not in education, employment, or training. 58% of you are not NEETs, meaning 42% of you are. Honestly, I was expecting it to be higher. Hello, my NEET audience. Hopefully y'all are doing well. Isn't that insane? Over $1 billion in crowdfunding and the game is still not done. Like it makes me wonder how much of their own dollar they put up to work on this shit. Like I'm sure there was absolutely some upfront cost of investment, but the fact that they're even asking for tens of thousands before the game is done is wild. What is wrong with you? Jesus. If you think Valve and Nintendo fans are crazy, Star Citizen fans take the cake. It's practically a cult. My friend was in it. I love my friend, buddy. I love you. You're my best friend. One of my best friends ever. Okay, I love you. I love you, and I say this out of love. Okay, he was in that cult. He was. My friend was in this cult. I remember having a conversation with him one night where he was trying to convince me that it's worth it. She was trying to convince me that dropping $250, I think it was like $200, probably, yeah, it was like $200, like dropping $200 on a ship, like a piece, like a microcosm of gameplay, like a little nugget of gameplay. It's like here, I have some wireless earbuds. They're not done yet, but I'm gonna sell you the nip, right? I'm gonna sell you the little ear nip, right? I'm gonna sell you this for 2,000% of the cost of what the game is going to cost itself. I'm going to sell you this at a 2,000% upcharge as like a guarantee that you're eventually going to get the rest of the earbuds. Right? That's what I was trying to be convinced of. That was like a good idea. It's going to work out in the end. He was trying to convince me that this is like something worth investing in. And now the money is gone. The money is gone. To me, it's nuts. To me, it's crazy. Over $1 billion. Anywho, I'll probably get shit from people that play this, but I don't really care. Anywho. On to this. I don't know if y'all saw this. I don't know if y'all heard. This is kind of big news a couple days ago. Valve made a blog post. Again. An update on the MVM update. Gee, and next year it's going to be an update on the update on the update on the MVM update. Like we're going to get annual updates now on the update. That's the cycle we're in now, okay? You can view this in a couple of different ways, okay? You can view this in a couple of different ways. My initial interpretation of this is that, okay, this is the most communication we've received about any update for TF2 since Meet Your Match. Like, in terms of the volume of communication surrounding an update, this is the most we've received. We received 3 blog post updates. Okay? Largest vaporwave scam in history. My lord. You know, they just want us to forget about it. The thing is, if they wanted us to forget about it, they wouldn't have put up this blog post, okay? And so my most charitable interpretation of this, to like get the positive aspect of this out of the way, because like, oh, Zesty is Mr. Negative. Well, you know, that's what I do. I'm Mr. Cynical. I'm Mr. Pessimist here. That's how I do my business. All right. The most charitable interpretation I can give for this is someone, Eric Smith probably, does actually seem to care about whatever it is they're doing with this MVM update. And they're willing to give us, like, at least a little bit more communication because they know people are kind of chomping at the bit wanting this update to come because it's now been, oh, look at that, well over a year, a month over a year since they initially announced it. That's the most charitable interpretation I can give of this. Okay? That's the most charitable interpretation. On the flip side to that, I think this was, from after marinating on this is why I didn't do this is an emergency stream so I can talk about a 3-sentence blog post, okay? I marinated on this yesterday and I thought to myself, this was absolutely done as a reaction. Absolutely done as a reaction to the general response to the summer update. Because what was the response to the summer update? Where's the MVM update? Why is it not here yet? People didn't give a shit. They didn't care about the summer update at all. They were asking where the MVM update was. It was like, we're expecting that. It's been over a year. Hello, Valve, did you forget? And so I don't think Valve was anticipating such a heavy neutral response or such a heavy negative response to what they did for the summer update. And I think that might have made them, I don't know, I couldn't find the right emotion. I don't think it made them scared. Nervous, I guess, is close. But whatever it did, it ruffled someone's feathers where they felt compelled to do, I suppose, a little bit of damage control. We're like, hey, don't worry, we're still working on it, because not only me, but plenty of other people fully believed Valve was trying to memory hold the initial blog post, giving this the heavy update treatment. Hey, we're just not gonna do anything with it because we bit off more than what we were willing to chew, right? Uneasy, sure, making them a little bit uneasy also is a possibility. But to me, this definitely feels like a reactive blog post where, fuck, people are getting upset. They're asking where the update is. We have to give them something because now they're like, the most popular thing I saw going around, probably no thanks to me, is that they just abandoned it. And can you blame anyone for thinking that way? I can't. Shonik seems to believe that Half-Life 3 was meant to come out in December and then was delayed, and that's why people aren't free to work on the MVM stuff. Not sure if I believe that, though. Valve is not working on Half-Life 3. People need to get this out of their fucking head. There is not going to be Half-Life 3. There is no Easter Bunny. There is no Tooth Fairy. There is never going to be Half-Life 3. It's not going to happen. Stop it. It's full speed ahead on Deadlock. It's full speed ahead on their hardware ventures. It's pedal to the floor on Steam, bringing in $11 billion this year. There is not going to be Half-Life 3. They're probably working on something Half-Life related, whatever Half-Life X is, but it's not going to be Half-Life 3. I don't know what the fuck it's going to be. I think it might be like a glorified tech demo for like, we are... Here at Valve, we're releasing the Steam bottle. It's the interactive drinking device. It's got like a touch screen and like a nipple, but if you suck on the nipple, fucking Gordon Freeman comes out and hits you with a crowbar. Like it's gonna that's what Half-Life X is gonna be. It's gonna be like their new special product or project as like a tech demo for their high-tech Bluetooth water bottle. I don't fucking know. I don't think it's gonna be a fully fleshed out game. If it is, I will happily eat crow. If it is, I will happily say I'm wrong, and I will hope the game is good. But we have been like Stockholm syndromed into believing that Valve actually makes games anymore, and they don't. The only reason why they're making Deadlock is because they need a replacement for Dota and Counter-Strike. They're figuring, and this is my full take on this. Feel free to pick this apart however you please. The only reason why they're making Deadlock, rather two reasons, is because people at Valve love MOBAs. And second, they need a new vehicle, a new live service vehicle that prints them billions of dollars like Counter-Strike does, but that is not Counter-Strike. Because that train, that ship, is about to make port, and then it's about to be left there. From, the signs are there. I don't know how many of y'all play. How many of y'all play Counter-Strike on a regular basis, out of curiosity? How many of you guys actually play Counter-Strike? Just say yes in chat if you play Counter-Strike. I have the power of polls. I don't even know why I do this. Do you play CS often? We'll just say often, right? Can I have like a yes or no, please? Hold on. Give me a yes or no question. YouTube chat, please. Do you... Wait, no, not a Q&A. YouTube, what are you doing? There we go. Do you play CS often? There we go. Do you play Counter-Strike often, out of curiosity? Because there's definitely some overlap between TF2 and Counter-Strike, but not much. So, the signs are there for Counter-Strike that ship's making its way into port, and that it's going to be left there to rust like the TF2 ship, alright? The signs are there. You guys want an operation? Last operation was what? 8 years ago? You're not getting one of those anytime soon. Valve is certainly not working on the game in any serious capacity anymore. They're not doing anything about cheaters. They'll occasionally tweak something inside of the gameplay, but beyond that, what are they doing? They're giving you things to buy, and that's all they're doing. They're just giving you new toys to gamble for inside of the Armory Pass shop, right? That's all they're doing. And they're not even making the maps anymore. They're only doing a community map rotation. It's being given the TF2 treatment. I showed this last stream, where other big Counter-Strike voices are complaining that Counter-Strike is being given the TF2 treatment. The signs are there. Counter-Strike is on its way out. Valve is only going to keep that machine going because it's still making them billions of dollars. The problem is that the means by which the chips of the house get generated, via gambling, is slowly being clamped down on, because they've obviously phased out cases, right? They're phasing out cases. And the Armory is a replacement for that. And then you have the terminal system that they're trying to, or I think they tried, I don't know how long they're going to push that for. They're pushing out terminals as a replacement for cases. Valve is desperately, I think this is Valve's #1 priority right now. It's not Half-Life, it's not the Steam machines. Valve, and at least when it comes to things outside of Steam, Valve is desperately trying to figure out how they can keep these massive games profitable. They're trying desperately to figure out an alternative to loot boxes. Because governments are clamping down, they're not going to be able to get away with this forever. They're trying to figure out an alternative. And they're right now, just like they did with TF2 for Counter-Strike and Dota, they're using Counter-Strike as the test bed for what they're going to push inside of Deadlock. They're trying to figure out how they're going to monetize that game so it can bring in $3 or $4 billion a year. That's what they're doing right now. And that's what Deadlock is going to be. You know, good game or not aside, that is going to be the vehicle for another money printer. That's the #1 reason why they're the #2 reason why they're making this game, okay? So is it really any surprise that they're leaving Counter-Strike behind? And they're only dabbling with new and creative ways to take your money. You know, I was shaming Star Citizen for asking players to drop hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a single item. Have you seen how these terminals work? You open up the terminal and you're shown a random item first before you buy it. And you can open a terminal. Hold on, I'll pull up a video. Hold on, if you don't know how this works, I'll show you. I think a lot of you are uninitiated. CS2 terminal opening. Give me like a fucking terminal opening. Here, One, give me something here.
Here we go again.
Look at how these work, man.
Last one. Kappa. Gold.
You open it.
Yes, we're doing business. If you give me gold, you piece of.
Look, it opens.
Next. Gold.
One, love you, by the way.
Oh my god.
Look,
57.
it shows you the item before you buy it, okay? And the prices are automatically adjusted based on supply and demand on how often these things are purchased, okay? And so you can be offered dog shit skins for 12 cents or higher value skins for, you know, tens, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, okay? And so, like, hold on, let's do, like, you know, gloves. Give me a terminal opening short here. Here we go. Here, give me like a monkey-like response here. Give me an animalistic response. Show me a price. It's so fucking stupid. Show me the price of this shit. That's the point of this.
By the arm, bro.
Yeah.
Look.
Or glove.
Oh, it's glove. Oh.
Zoom in on the price.
Dude, I was looking at.
That is a 4-figure price. We're talking thousands of dollars that you have to put into Steam in order to buy this. Like, we call other companies bad, right? We call other companies bad for offering up insanely valued microtransactions. Here is Valve saying, give me $1,000 for this, please. And so many people say yes. So many people will dump $1,500 into Steam just so they can buy the gloves that were artificially offered to them. It happens all the time. Oh my God. And so Valve is definitely cooking something with these terminals. They're trying to figure out the next money monetization vehicle for Deadlock. And once they crack that code that circumvents gambling laws, which these do because it offers the item to the player first before taking their money, right? So it circumvents gambling law, but this is not the perfect solution because the level of entry is too high. Because most people don't have $1,500 lying around. But this does go into a video that I'm going to watch a little bit later today, in that they don't need everyone to buy in. You only need the whales. You only need the people that are, one, willing to do it and have the money to do it in order to make a shitload of money. Because you only need, like, less than 0.1% of all of your, this is in the case of Valve. And Valve said this in that announcement they made when they were getting sued by the state of New York. Most people do not spend money on our free-to-play games, and that's the business model. They don't need everyone to spend money on their free-to-play games. They only need the whales to do it. And if you have like 0.1% of people whaling in these games and dropping $1,000 on something that's offered to them, Valve's making bank. Anywho, bit of a side tangent. So, this brings me back to the comment on Valve working on Half-Life. There's not going to be Half-Life 3. That's their number one focus with their games right now, is figuring out how they're going to monetize Deadlock. I see the MVM update as a vehicle for more automation by Valve's hand, and the reason why it's taking them so long to produce it. If they can fit MVM updates as a part of TF2's yearly updates, then that means more profit. I'm still not 100% sold on a reason why Valve is pushing the MVM update. I mean, the obvious reason is more money, right? Another seasonal update they can push each year, because why have 3 when you can have 4, right? Valve Dev Talk describes how they efficiently monetized free players through economies, because even if you've never spent money, you can still contribute to upscaling the economy through trading. Yes, so even a kid with no credit card can produce value for them. That's also very true, yeah. You don't even need to spend money on the game to contribute to their economies, because if you're actively engaging in trading and affecting the value of items, which may eventually down the line be sold for real-world money, guess what? At the end of the day, that brings up the revenue that Valve earns. That is very true. That is incredibly true. Just by merely interacting with the economies. Valve, again, this is why Valve hired economists to work on their games, right? They hired psychologists to work on their games and their economies to make them this efficient and this profitable. Anyway, when it comes to the reason why Valve is doing this update, the obvious reason for this is, okay, we just want to make more money. 3 seasonal updates? Fuck it. Let's have 4 of them now, right? That's like the obvious low-hanging fruit. That's why they're doing it, which makes total and perfect sense. But if it was just for the sake of making profit, it shouldn't take a fucking year. It should not be this hard to play test community-made content. That's already done. It's already done. The Potato.tf missions that have already been played to death by that community, by the people that played those maps, that shit is ready to go, okay? All they need to do is take 3 of those maps, 4 of those maps, ship them in an update, give them the same fucking Australium drops, and then put out like Robo Crate number 2, and then there you go. They have their successful model for more money. You know people are going to spend fucking money on it regardless. The whales are going to dump money into it, okay? So why is it taking so long if that's been their MO for a decade? This is cope. It's massive cope. I know it's massive cope. I know it's Hey, it's massive cope you got going on right there. Got massive cope coming on with talk about this MVM update. Gonna cope in the microphone for a second. My massive cope is that it's taking too long for it to just be 3 maps. Okay? It's taking too long if it's just a copy and paste of 3 maps just to make it work. Okay? Of course, this is massively safe language we're using here. Massively safe language. We wanted to give everyone an update on the update we already gave on the update we're working on, and here it is. We're still working on the MVM update. It's taking a lot longer to sort through the new content and changes than we'd originally anticipated, obviously, again, showing that they bit off way more than they were willing to chew. But we promise we're making progress. Thanks for being patient. I think the rhetoric surrounding this, in that they abandoned it, was probably getting to them a little bit. They didn't need to put this out there. They didn't need to say anything. Valve usually doesn't say anything, and they get away with it. They've always gotten away with saying nothing. But I think someone at Valve, totally no fault of my own, may have gotten a little perturbed by the very popular idea floating around over the past few months that they just abandoned it. And then when the summer update came out and people were asking where the MVM update was, even more people thought they abandoned it. And so I think that compelled them to put out this blog post and go, hey, no, fuckers, we're still working on it. So don't worry, we're still working on your slop. Still working to serve you a nice big steaming pile of community-made dog shit. Don't you worry, get those wallets ready. Get them. Look at this nice leather wallet I was given as a gift, by the way. Like, get your fucking wallets ready. You fucking get them ready. Open them up. You know, pull out the money. I have no money. I have a $2. I have a $2 bill for good luck, but that's all the money I have in my wallet right now because we live in a cashless society. But I think that's why they did it. I think that's why they did it, is because they got perturbed and a little upset that there was this idea floating around that at a much wider scale than they anticipated. That, one, they abandoned it, and also, hey, Valve, where the fuck is it? It's been over a year. There's kind of no excuse for this if you're just testing to see if it works. I did think this is kind of out of character, not gonna lie. This was nowhere near being something normies cared about, like Save TF2. So I think Valve might be kind of scared of the TF2 community after that. You think so? Do you think so? I mean, yeah, the thing is, okay. The Save TF2 thing was a massive PR problem. But when it comes to updates, the bigger, okay, because look at this too, okay? Look at where the complaints are coming from. Look at where the complaints are coming from in the TF2 sphere, right? Look at where the complaints are coming from. It's mostly people like here, my stream, or the occasional post on Reddit, you know, and some smaller fringe channels on YouTube, videos getting a handful of, say, a few thousand views, which is substantial in a very insular community like TF2's, right? But most of these vocal complaints and the idea that they abandoned the update is by no means like super ultra mainstream like Save TF2 became, right? If you go on Reddit right now, there's a few handful of posts. There's a few handful of posts saying, yeah, they're chewing out Valve for not doing the MVM update. But by and large, the vocal parts of the TF2 sphere really don't give a shit. Because as always, the majority of people that engage with Team Fortress 2 don't actually play the game, right? And when it came to Save TF2 and Fix TF2, those vocal spheres that don't play the game could easily get on board and join in that discourse because you didn't need to play the game to like point at that and go, that's bad. Give me my likes on Twitter. Yeah, Valve poopy stinky for no do cheetah bad, stupid, poopy, I'm gonna open 20 cases anyway. Yeah, bad. You know, and that made Valve look very bad. You're not gonna get this for the MVM update, right? You're not going to get this for a delayed MVM update. Because one, most people don't give a shit Most people don't give a fuck about MVM. I mean, Richter, you put this very beautifully in one of our Idle Time episodes. I think the one before the Mastercoms episode, where updating MVM is akin to, I don't know, I forgot the exact analogy you gave, but it's updating an insignificant part of the whole that no one really cares about, right? And so most people just don't give a shit. And the people that are like the mega MVL, you said Alien Swarm. Yeah, it's like Valve updating Alien Swarm. Who gives a fuck, right? It's like Valve updating Artifact. Who gives a shit other than the 6 people that play MVM on a regular basis? Like, I know Wheezy, love you. Banana Boy, we love you. I know a lot more people play MVM than 6. I get it. But it's by no means a majority, and certainly much further away from a majority on a daily basis, right? Like, I think a collective 50 people might touch, and like 50 unique people might touch MVM on a regular basis. I should do MVM on stream. That's like something I've not done. I got to get a group of people together to play MVM. I don't fucking know. Get Richter and Lucid and do some MVM at some point. But the idea that this could be a PR nightmare for Valve, I disagree. I think this might have become a little bit, a bit of an internal thorn in their side, in that they got a little bit upset that people were, you know, disseminating the idea of like, oh, the update's canceled. That Valve did not need to make this post. It's definitely out of character, especially 3 blog posts about 1 update, but there would have to be a pretty substantial video saying the update is canceled and like a pretty big outcry for it to be a PR nightmare. Like, this is not going to be a PR nightmare. If they just made this post and then said nothing since then, there wouldn't be a PR problem, because people don't really give a shit. Oh, they know it's Valve time. Yeah, like I saw someone making the Valve time argument on Twitter again. Like, someone doesn't know about Valve time. I don't think you know that there's Valve time. It's just how they work. It's Valve time. It's just something they do. The cute corporate term they came up for themselves, where it's a translation. Uh-oh, it's taking it a lot longer than we expected. MVM with Zesty while my mom and dad fight. Zesty, I don't mean this was going to actually be bad PR. I'm just saying this is a very cautious and proactive, compared to like 8 years of silence. They saw something brewing and put foot on necks. I don't know, man. What do you think they saw? Pay Piggy gambling update cancer, fuck MVM. I mean, this is true. We can't ignore this in Miss Twilight. You know, not best horse, but I will acknowledge it's a decent choice. I will say, that's what we're getting, right? That's what we're talking about at the end here. What we're talking about is just another gambling update. What we're talking about here is just another means for people to throw money at Valve and get new toys. That's what this is going to boil down to. Like, sure, we're gonna get the new gameplay. We're gonna get hopefully decent MVM maps and missions that'll be engaging, you know, for a little while, out about grinding 50 of them. But it'll hopefully be something substantial and enjoyable. But I know for me, once I play them 1 or 2 times, I'm probably not gonna go back to them unless I'm playing with friends, right? Once the hype dies, it's over. But yeah, that's what this is gonna boil down to. It's gonna be MVM missions. You know for a fact that they're definitely going to monetize this. That's why they're playtesting it so heavily, because if they don't playtest something that is pay to enter in order to get a prize, then that opens them up for all sorts of legal ramifications. Like, oh, it's shit's bugged and broken. I spent $5 on this and I'm not given my chance. I'm not given my slot pull after putting the money in the machine. Though the dials aren't turning. Valve, you ripped me off. Where's my 3 cents back when I put $5 in, right? They can't have that happen on launch day. That's their number one fear. Imagine the boxes were unopenable. Right? Imagine when they drop an update and you just can't open the crates. Think about how many people would be bitching. There would be an instant patch to fix that, right? And so they're making sure that that's not going to happen on day 1. for sure. And that's the number one reason why this is taking so long. But on the flip side to that, it shouldn't, and then what I said a moment ago, it shouldn't take this long just to play test a few maps, right? And plug in some toys. It shouldn't be that you get 6 people for a couple of weeks and then make sure it's like completable. That's all they really need to do, okay? You ask what Valve saw? Think they saw even Chungus people complaining about the wait being ridiculous, the narrative forming of they abandoned it. They probably know TF2 causes PR problems for them. What Chungus people were complaining? I didn't see any Chungus people complaining. Show me evidence of the Chungus crew complaining about these things, and I will stand corrected, but I've not seen anyone complaining about it. Like, no bigger figures are really talking about this on any wide scale. I mean, we are, but we're not Chungus, we're Chud. We're not Chungus, we're Chud in this house. We're Chud. Wheezy and Shonik, I mean, okay. But like, how much? Wheezy streams on Twitch, his audience isn't very big. And then you have Shonik, I know Shonik does something on stream once a week. Listen, is Wheezy Chud coded? Is Wheezy Chud coded? Do we bring him into the fold? I think we have to, and I don't think he has a choice in the matter. I don't think he does. Wheezy, you are initiated. You are brought into the Chud fold. You have no say in this matter. We're making you take a side right now. This is a joke, by the way. Wheezy is a new strain formed in the lab. He's Chudgus. Chudgus sounds like a real name, by the way. Chudgus sounds like a real name. But, oh yeah, I forgot, John Tahill made a video. That was a pretty significant voice saying things. Yeah, John Tahill is a pretty, I don't want to say milquetoast, because milquetoast is kind of uncharitable. Is definitely a safer voice with a significant following complaining of like, well, what's going on? Yeah, so that, but do you really think it scared them? Like other than people complaining about like, where's my food? Where's my food? Like, that's not gonna be a fucking PR nightmare. Because they have the perfect defenders of their own fans already saying it's Valve time. Also, you didn't see, who the hell is that guy? The guy begging them? The guy who knows El Mariachi? Huh? Who? I have no idea what you're talking about. DM me that, because I have no idea what you're talking about. Someone made a video showing that adding a single Australian variant takes like two hours. No, yeah, that was Cypherlock. Cypherlock's been pushing his Aussies hard. Buddy, love you. I like what you've done with the Aussies. I know you want your Aussies in the game. I get it. And I also want new Aussies in the game. You know, we both want these things. But he made a video showing just how easy it is for Valve to put new Australians in the game because they basically function like a new skin. You just plug it in and it's done. Like, there's no excuse for them to not add new Australians. It's piss easy. It's like the easiest thing for them to do is to give us like 3 new gold guns. Like, give us like, they don't even have to be good. Like, I don't know, Australium revolver, Australium syringe gun, and then like a pistol and a shotgun. Like, if you just gave us those 4, like, people would go, oh my god, it's fucking Christmas, and they go crazy. That's all Valve needs to do. And it's just not that hard. It's very easy to do. MVM Bootcamp was a bit of a safe haven for me during the bot crisis. It was for a lot of people, now that you bring that up. A lot of people... Hello? There we go. A lot of people retreated into MVM Bootcamp during the bot crisis because that was one of the few ways you could actually keep playing the game. That is very true. I didn't. Well, I mean, I think I played MVM occasionally. I can't even remember the last time I played MVM. It's been like months. Either way. Cypherlock's one of them. No, yeah, sure. And Cypherlock's a voice, right? He's a voice talking about these things, but you know, and again, inside of the TF2 sphere, a video that gets, you know, 5,000-6,000 views, it's substantial in a very insular community like Team Fortress 2. This is a big deal. Holy fucking jump scare, buddy.
This video is...
we've watched this before, don't worry. We're not gonna watch it again. But can I interest you in like some tanning lotion? I can show you my sunbathing techniques. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm tan as fuck right now because I was at the beach. Cypher, buddy. I can make you brown. I can make you brown. Bro's literally sunshine. Cypher, we love you, buddy. I'm just taking the piss. We love you, Cypherlock. We're happy and very thankful for what you're doing by showing how much Valve sucks. By showing just how easy it is for them to add new Australians. Honestly, Richter, you might have a point with this. They've absolutely been worked into a corner, right? No, Richter, I already watched this on stream when it came out. Don't worry, I've already gone through this, right? You know, yeah. So Cypherlock has, you know, shown that you can absolutely back Valve into a corner, and it's also shown, and this is an angle, now that I'm thinking about this more, we've now pressured them into an expectation that they absolutely did not set for themselves. Because when they first did this, no brainer, when they first did this, they were thinking 2 months tops to get out some new maps, right? 2 months tops to get out some new maps. They were thinking they were going to have this out for Halloween last year, and then, oh shit, we can't just, you know, play test these things in a short period of time, so it's going to take a little bit longer. And in that little bit of time, not just the player base at large, but people like Cypherlock started doing all of the work for them, making all the Australians for them, you know, making all the maps for them, what have you, and just showing how easy it is to put all of these things in the game. And now that they've shown that, it's kind of let the genie out of the bottle, where if Valve doesn't do the painfully piss-easy work of putting some new gold guns in, that's going to look really bad. Because it was shown just how easy it is. Don't really get it. I'm not going to lie. The only way this makes sense is if they're really worried about the server infrastructure, but that's a can of worms I don't think they want to open. I mean, I think that they're taking a huge gamble with even attempting to redirect a ton of traffic into man versus machine. I think part of the work they're needing to perform right now is just preparing how servers spin up MVM maps on demand, right? Because since MVM was released, you have the current matchmaking system that spins up and spins down servers based on demand for a specific map. And I think they're having to retroactively implement some of these things for man versus machine, or not implement, but adjust in preparation for an influx of people into this corner of the game. I definitely think, and if they don't do this, they're insane, that a non-zero amount of work is going into touching the matchmaking system. I don't know how intimate they're getting. I don't know how deep under the sheets they're getting with the matchmaking system in this regard, but they're doing something. Because if they do nothing with the matchmaking system, I've said this like 10 times already, it's gonna be a shit show. It's gonna be a fucking nightmare. The game is gonna fucking break. It's gonna be a catastrophic goddamn meltdown if they push out the MVM update without doing anything to the matchmaker. Because they just put out new maps in casual mode and shit just breaks. You can't even get into a fucking server. And now that they're doing this for MVM and it's gonna be monetized, don't forget, I understand that this could be viewed as cope, but you know it's going to be monetized. That's the difference between a summer update and an MVM update, is people are going to pay to access servers. And if you can't get in day one and you've paid the money, that's not gonna fly. So because they have that extra layer of pressure put on them, they're probably doing something with matchmaking. Yeah, even more money for doing nothing, right? Even more money for taking other people's work and putting it in the game, right? What would TF2 look like if major updates continued? Man, it's been 10 years, dude. I don't know. And listen, man, sure, it could be totally cope, and if they do nothing, it's gonna be a fucking shit show, and we get to laugh at them the whole way. If they do nothing and you can't play this new fucking update and you can't get in the server, shit's broken for 2 weeks, nothing like the waves or missions break, the new Australians don't drop or they're bugged or broken, it's gonna be fucking hilarious and I'm gonna make fun of them the entire goddamn way. It's gonna make great content because that's the expectation right now. Like, how many of you expect that? I do. That's what I expect out of this update. I do not expect a competent update from them because that's the standard they've set for themselves since 2018. Like, I don't expect anything to function out of the gate. I really don't. That's why I'm not excited about this at all. One, I don't care that much about MVM, but two, I'm not even gonna be able to play it. So why would I care? Why would I give a fuck? Like the most fuck I can give is if they give me a gold shotgun. I guess that would be cool. Like, my gun is gold now. Like, that's a nice thing to play with. It's a cool toy. Beyond that, I don't care. And I'm gonna care even less if I can't play it. Like, if it functions, like, sure, I'll play it. I'll try things out because I'm not gonna be inconvenienced. If shit just breaks, I'm not gonna touch it. Like, I was willing to give versus Saxton Hale in casual mode a fair shake when it first got dropped, but it took them 3 goddamn weeks to fix it. You couldn't play for 3 weeks after launch. If that happens again, but with MVM, fuck. Hello? It's over. It's done. At a certain point, you only have to blame yourself for expecting the ice cream machine to be working after it being broken the last 400 times you went through the drive-thru. Sorry for a very American analogy. No, yeah, I know. This is the flavor of Stockholm syndrome that many of us have given ourselves. Like, oh, this time Daddy Valve is gonna deliver and do good for us. You know, like we're the I don't want to be called a wife. But I'll use the analogy. We're like the wife that's been beaten with a rod no wider than Valve's thumb one too many times, and like, please do it. We'll behave and open our wallets for you. Please give us a good update. We promise. This time it's gonna be good. This time it's gonna be good. And that's why this interests me. I know changes can mean literally anything. I know changes can mean nothing. Because they can absolutely put something in a blog post and then not follow through on that, right? It could mean something and it could perfectly mean nothing, but the fact they said changes in what's clearly a very last minute and kind of rushed blog post, you know? This is interesting. A little bit. What are these changes going to be? Probably bug fixes, at most. MVM-related bug fixes, at most. That's the biggest likelihood, okay? However, Copium, building in, maybe they're gonna do some tweaks for MVM. Maybe there's some balance changes for MVM. Maybe something interesting for MVM is gonna be performed. Maybe they're gonna do fixes for the matchmaker, because again, like I just said, if they ignore that shit, it's gonna break. Who knows? We need gold versions of rare, expensive stranges to screw over traders. Aussie shotgun, factory new dress to kill shotgun. Yeah, getting like an Australian, say, original, or an Australian gunslinger or Kritzkrieg to screw over traders, sure. Awesome Richter, do you just want to get in the call, dude? You just want to like call for a second? Because I feel like we have a lot to say. You want to hop on call for a second? Awesome possibility. The new maps don't even wind up even hooked into the MVM coordinator properly on ship, and you have to play it in community servers like versus Saxton Hale. I mean, that's possible. That is certainly possible. Well, if you don't want to go, if you don't want to hop on call, it's okay. If you just want to send the occasional message, it's fine. What's going on, Zrinch? If this MVM update is the unironically greatest update to ever grace TF2, would you prefer more gold weapons or them choose another color, jade, pearl, etc.? God bless and remember knee surgery. God damn it. Knee surgery is not tomorrow. Knee surgery is not tomorrow? Stop it. There's no, my knees are fine. I'm not that old yet. God damn it. Stick to gold. I think other colors, if they were to do one, silver, but big bright green Brazilium would look like dog shit, I think gold is probably the smart thing to stick with. If they're going to add more. Clearly the update will add a battle pass to MVM. I mean, in a way, it kind of is. You're paying money to access it. God, ugh. Imagine it. Remember when Fish recommended a battle pass for Team Fortress 2? Bad idea. No. Don't even entertain it. Don't even entertain the idea. Bad. Bad. Stinky poo-poo. Speaking of videos, before I forget, the UFR video contest has been fucking awesome so far. Like, it's been really, really fun. There's been a lot of really awesome submissions. We've been watching them over on Lucid's channel. And we have a lot of really, really good videos going through. It's awesome. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be going into the final rounds of judging the cream of the crop. And when that happens, I will announce it so you guys can tune in. It's been really good so far. A lot of great submissions. It's exciting. Major coat, but I hope they add the cut uraniums. Yeah, I don't know. Do I have any Transformers and which one is my favorite? I don't own any Transformers. I never got into any Hasbro products. I'll show you something cool. This is a massive non sequitur, but look what I found, man. I totally forgot about this because it's been so long. And I know these are not worth what I purchased them for, but the condition of them lended me to buying these things just because I wanted them for nostalgia purposes. So when I was growing up, I totally forgot that there was a Bionicle trading card game. And I was in... Does anyone go to antique stores? Do any of y'all go into antique stores anymore? I feel like antique stores aren't antique stores anymore. They're more, they're just secondhand shops or resale shops. Not necessarily selling you antiques, but just shit people are trying to offload or scalp you for via secondhand sale. But I found a neat little thing that I totally forgot about that I had when I was a kid. So Lego had this Bionicle board game with like trading cards, and they sold card packs, and I found a full set of 6 of the Borok. Like inside of these really nice sleeves. One of each. I got them for like $1 a piece. Well, like what, $1 for each of these? And they're like in like almost mint condition is really cool. I don't know, just a neat little thing to have on display. These were really fun. I had the board game because I was a massive Bionicle autist when I was a kid. So I picked these up. $6 for this? Come on, $6. Why wouldn't I get them, you know? Why wouldn't I get them? Slide this back over. You like my tan line, by the way? Did you see that shit? Look at how brown my knees are, and look how white my inner thigh is. He's like, there's the tan line right there. That's how brown I got when I was on the beach. I got a good tan. Well, then Richter said something. Zombie head bot killers for Scream Fortress? I don't like the bot killers. I don't like random objects hanging off the gun. I'm not a fan of that. You know, Zesty, I've never thought about this until now, but the Australium, at least in epic lore or whatever, is supposed to be life-extending material, right? Why would you make a gun out of that? Because I think the idea is like, oh, the material... It's obviously a gold gun, right? It's a gold gun. It's a gold gun. It's meant to be flashy. And if we're, like, abiding by the comic book lore, obviously it's meant to make you fucking immortal if you consume it. But also, isn't it this super indestructible, ultra strong, you know, unobtainium? So if you make a weapon out of it, it's indestructible, it lasts forever, that kind of shit. That's my interpretation of it, if we're adhering to TF2's comic book lore. But, which reminds me, total other non sequitur. Did you hear about that poor kid that was injecting gold into his body and he died? Like, it was one of those looks-maxing YouTubers or streamers. I found that quite sad. Yeah, hold on. I want to like find this. See, like, looks Maxer gold injection. Yeah, it was like, yeah, his name was Connor Murphy. How old was this guy? Pretty young. Connor Murphy influencer. There we go. How old is this guy? Oh no, he was 32. Shit, he was my age? That's crazy. Okay, so he was my age, so he's not young. Unk, as kids would say. He was an unk. He was an unk. I know. I fucked up. Anyway, this guy was so, like, fucked up in the head. It's very sad. Like, I say that in, like, the most respectful way possible. To where he was injecting gold into his body, like, because he thought it was going to have some kind of healing properties. To me, that's insane. Totally random aside. We're talking about Australians, but that just popped up in my head. It's kind of sad. I had a video that I wanted to watch today, and I'm going to pull that up real quick. This was sent to me more than once. This was sent to me more than once.
In December of 19...
The title is Voting with Your Wallet is Not Protesting. I feel like this is worth watching because it talks about TF2. So I want to do that right now. It's not very long. It's 14 minutes. But I think this is the title is something that I find inherently disagreeable. In that voting with your wallet is not protesting, I fully believe it is. I'm curious to see what this guy's arguments are. I've watched the first few minutes, so I think I want to check this out. It is TF2 related. He mentions TF2. This is in reference to quite a few other live service games and whatnot. So I want to check this out. But before I start, I need something to drink because I've been talking for 2 hours straight. Give me just 1 second. Okay. I am back. Leak your music playlist. My goodness, your taste is good. This is just Gran Turismo music. It's just a playlist of Gran Turismo music. I'll post it in the chat. Nothing special. Just nice, chill, copyright-free music to listen to. Screw Aussies, I want strange weapons. I mean, yeah, give me a strange Dragon's Fury, please. My god, why do we not have that yet? If Valve gives me a strange Dragon's Fury in this MVM update, I will name my first board game. I will name my firstborn game. I will. I'll name my firstborn Gabriel if they give me a strange Dragon's Fury. That is how much of a pay pig I am. I will just fucking buy 50 of them immediately. I will. They got me by the balls. I'll do it. They do stevia in this now. They do, don't they? Man, this is my favorite flavor. Fuck. Stop it. Stop with the stevia. I can taste it. I like fucking Liquid Death. Why? Some of them taste okay with stevia, not the cherry. God damn it. Whatever. The agave nectar ones were better. Either way, you'd have to find a woman first. Fuck off. I kind of gave up. I don't care anymore. All right, so let's check out voting with your wallet is not protesting. Let's have a look-see here. I will stop the music for this.
1955, black residents of Montgomery, Alabama stopped riding the city buses for 381 days. The buses that depended on their fares nearly went bankrupt. The city then caved. Segregation on Montgomery's public transit ended. If you learned about voting with your wallet as a concept, this is probably the example that you got. Proof that consumers, or well, in this case, non-consumers, can force institutional change just by redirecting their money. Here's the problem.
It is a good example.
What actually happened in Montgomery is almost nothing like what Vote with Your Wallet tells you to do. And the gap between those two things is the entire subject of the video. It sounds like Montgomery, it's marketed like Montgomery, it behaves nothing like Montgomery, and by the end of this video, I want you to see exactly why the industry's entire theory of consumer accountability rests on a metaphor that breaks the moment you actually run the numbers. Vote with your wallet is a metaphor, and metaphors do work by borrowing legitimacy from one domain and applying it to another. This one borrows from democratic voting, a system whose entire moral appeal rests
not
on a
always.
specific
I think I disagree with that. It's not always the case, you know.
One person, one vote. Equal form or power, regardless of wealth, status, or how much you care. Markets do not work that way. Markets run on $1, one vote. Nowhere is this more nakedly true in game monetization, because the games industry has actually done the specific math on this in public. It is called whale spending. In most free-to-play and live service economies, a tiny fraction of players...
This is true right here. This is the key meat and potatoes right here. Okay.
Often cited around 1 to 5%, account for the...
monetization models assume 1 to 5% of players drive revenue. And this goes back to what Valve said inside of that announcement when they were getting sued by the state of New York, in that most people don't spend a single cent inside of their free-to-play games. It's only these small whales that dump a bunch of money in. And here's the thing too, right? This is also something as well, where they don't eat, and I think this is, I don't know if he mentions this, but something that is something that's a bit of an oversight. How, like, okay. Let's do a poll. I want to do a poll right now, okay? End this poll. Start this poll. Have you spent at least, let's say, $10 on TF2? Have you spent at least $10 on Team Fortress 2? So listen, my point with setting that minimum really low is that the whales aren't the only people spending money on the game. And I think that's a big oversight. I don't know if he addresses this, but let's see. We'll let that poll run.
Overwhelming majority of monetization revenue. Some individual whales have been documented spending thousands, in extreme cases tens of thousands of dollars, into a single game's economy. That is not a rumor about a handful of outliers. It is the standard load-bearing assumption behind how these games are financially modeled in the first place. So if you are the median player boycotting a loot box system by not spending $1 on it, and a whale 2 towns over is spending $4,000 a month into the same system, you are not voting against each other in equal terms. You are not participants in the same election. You are...
Well, you are participants within the same system, and it is true that the guy spending more money absolutely does have more influence and more voting power, but you don't need to convince all the whales to stop spending money. You don't need to convince every single one of them. People in chat are already getting it.
Rounding error next to somebody with 1,000,000 times your ballots, and the entire monetization strategy was designed around that asymmetry, not despite it. So when you say vote with your wallet about a game's monetization, you're not describing a democratized alternative to boycotting the publisher directly. You are describing a plutocracy. One, the developers...
Because other people have successfully done this in the past with other live service games. A very notable example being World of Warcraft, back when that whole debacle of shutting down legacy servers and shit, and people stopped spending money on their subscription services and stopped spending money. Guess what? That pushed them to do something. If you do boycott a game company and stop spending money on their shit, they do react.
Explicitly modeled and priced around, and calling it a democracy. The metaphor doesn't just fail to capture the market accurately, it actively launders whale-driven revenue design into democratic language. It makes a system built to extract from a tiny minority of high spenders sound like something the median consumer has equal say in. Economists have a more honest term for this, one that's been sitting in textbooks for decades without the misleading baggage: consumer sovereignty. Notice what is missing from that phrase. There is no claim of equality or claim of one person, one vote, just an acknowledgement that aggregate consumer demand shapes what gets produced, weighted, transparently, by who has money.
I think at face value, this analogy works, where the idea he has here is that people conflate one vote being equal across all parties in something like a democracy, but when it comes to spending money inside of an economy, those who spend more money have more power. But I think, that ends when it's not necessarily about, having everyone on the same playing field. It's about hitting a minimum and depriving enough dollars by convincing enough people that do spend that money to stop spending that money, right? I think that's the angle that this opening intro misses entirely. It's not we're not trying to say like, oh shit, everyone spends the same. Like, I don't think anyone's made this argument, right? I don't think anyone's ever made the argument that people spend an equal amount of money on live service games. I think most people understand that a small minority of people do drive that revenue, right? But I think a lot of people focus on, they go quarterly reports, right? People focus on the aggregate. People focus on the total amount that a game is earning. And if they can knock a dent in that by reducing it by any amount, not having everyone stop spending money, but a certain amount of people, yeah. And if you convince a whale to, get that down, then that's the angle that people use by saying voting with the wallet.
In games specifically, that means consumer sovereignty is really whale sovereignty. The design decisions get made for the top 1 to 5% because that is where the actual voting power sits. Of course, there is a real efficiency argument for dollar-weighted preference. One person, one vote can't distinguish between somebody who mildly prefers a policy and someone whose life depends on it. Dollars can encode intensity. I'll pay more for what I want most. It's part of the reason why markets are good at allocating resources efficiently. But that's an argument for market efficiency, not an argument for market legitimacy as a voting system. Those are two completely values, and vote with your wallet smuggles into the second one while only being entitled to the first.
I disagree.
We're going to steelman this anyway. Let's say, for the sake of the argument, that we accept dollar-weighted voting as a legitimate system. Does your individual purchase actually function as an effective vote within it? No. And this is where public choice theory earns its keep. Your single purchase has a casual effect on a publisher behavior that rounds to zero. A major live service title can move hundreds of millions of dollars a year through microtransactions alone. Your decision to not buy the battle pass, or to buy it anyway out of spite or convenience, is statistically invisible in that ledger.
For the individual level, sure. But you know what matters at the end of it? The aggregate. Billion minus one. Because this is what companies look at, all right? This is what every game company looks at. Here's your earnings diagram, okay? Here's dollars, here's time, okay? This is what they look at. Okay, so here's year 1, here's year 2, here's year 3, here's year 4. Are we earning more money than the previous year? As soon as it's not doing that, uh-oh, we have a sharp inflection. What have we succeeded in doing? We have succeeded in billion -1. This inflection strikes the fear of God, especially into publicly traded companies. Especially into publicly traded companies where they're not turning increasing profits year after year, continual percentage increases. That strikes the fear of God into these companies. And this is really what voting with your wallet is pushing for. It's not trying to deprive them of all of your dollars. It's not trying to drive them into negative profits. It's about showing them, hey, we're going to make sure that you're not seeing continuous growth. So the people that are actually pulling the strings tell you to fucking stop what you're doing and get off your ass and make the customers happy again. Yeah, fucking whoever came up with the billion -1 thing is a fucking genius in that regard. And yet it rarely ever works. Here's the thing, it's rarely ever performed. I can't think of many instances where enough people banded together and actually stopped spending money on a video game in protest of what the company was doing. I can't think of many impacts. Things have to get really, really bad in order for the players to start depriving them of dollars and moving away. And that's something that this video I think should have touched on, is companies really bank on people being very malleable, being very squishy and willing to take a lot of bullshit, like, you know, like the frog in a boiling pot of water, where people can tolerate increasingly higher temperatures, where and then at a certain point, you know, whoa, you went a little bit too far, and now I'm going to jump out the pod. Now I'm going to stop giving you money, right? I think that's what a lot of companies rely on, is pushing that consumer boundary as far as they can, and then understanding that people are going to keep spending the money anyway. It's just that companies have become very good at, you know, towing that line between going too far and ensuring people keep spending money, right? But there have been some instances where they go too far, say, like with World of Warcraft, where people pushed back and go, we're not giving you our dollars anymore, change this, you know? But it doesn't happen often, because the typical consumer, I mean, let's face it, they're cattle. I mean, that I know the term has become very popular lately, but a lot of people are cattle. A lot of people really don't care. You know, it's like, oh, the rate at which products are getting worse is not super tangible to people that don't kind of live online all day. You know, they work outside, they have their job, what have you, they have other responsibilities. They come home and then, oh, there was a change to this game. Okay, it doesn't really bother me that much. I'm going to play it anyway. They have to do something pretty drastic to get the normie consumer to stop spending money, right? And Valve is a perfect example of this, where you literally couldn't play the game for years and people were still giving them money. Like, that was like the perfect prime example of when people should have stopped giving them money, but they kept giving them money, right? That shows just how, what's the word I'm looking for? Just how, I don't know, forgiving people are when it comes to changes inside of their games. And I think, especially now in the modern time, people are more aware now than ever with just how abusive, I suppose that's the right term to use, how abusive these game companies are and how often they exploit or take advantage of the goodwill of their consumers, Valve as well. And people now more than ever are very much opening their eyes to that and going, whoa, what you're doing here is really fucked up. And so now in more recent years, people are definitely more on board with depriving the company of dollars and scaring them into doing the right thing, either directly or indirectly. I mean, we just saw Microsoft laying off 40% of its workforce in reaction to losing money. Now they're going to start making good games again, hopefully, because people were depriving them of their dollars. But it wasn't because they banded together in protest. It was a natural reaction to them making shitty products. So inadvertently, they were voting with their wallet to make them induce changes.
You bear 100% of the cost in your protest. You don't get the cosmetic, you fall behind friends who did buy it, maybe you set out content other players are experiencing, and you receive approximately 0% of a benefit because your vote didn't move anything, and the whale 2 towns over just covered the shortfall anyway. This is a textbook collective action problem, structurally identical to voting in a national election. Your one vote in a presidential election has a probability of deciding the outcome that's close enough to zero to treat as zero.
Usually not. Not to get political, but do your civic duty and vote. But when it comes down to individual votes, like my one vote, at least in the American voting system, doesn't have that much difference statistically at the end of the day.
And yet people vote, and people organize pre-order boycotts. And
actually, a lot of people don't vote. I think like normal voter turnout rates for American elections is almost always less than 50%, which is pretty shocking.
And don't buy day one campaigns anyway. Bryan Caplan has an answer for why, and it's called rational irrationality. When the cost of holding a belief or performing an action is nearly free, because your individual action doesn't actually change any real-world outcome, people are free to choose beliefs and actions for how they make them feel, rather than what they actually accomplish. Voting then becomes expressive, not instrumental. You're not voting to...
A lot of this is, a lot of this boils down to performative. There's a lot of people that hold performative beliefs, you know, because it doesn't cost them anything. They can say something or hold a belief, but it doesn't actually impact on their way of life. It doesn't have any impact on their way of life. And generally, and this is what I meant by you have to impact the normie. Once the normie is impacted, once the sheep are impacted and once they actually have a tangible change, then they go, no, I'm not giving you my dollars.
To change the election outcome, you are voting to express who you are. That exact same logic applies to refusing to pre-order or skipping the loot box game on principle. It doesn't meaningfully change the monetization team's revenue model, which is built and stress-tested around whale behavior.
Well, sure, it doesn't change the revenue model, but it would absolutely influence them to do something the players are demanding. Because, like, people aren't asking them to change the revenue model. They're asking them to, like, treat the game better or fix a problem that's unrelated to the revenue model, that kind of thing. That's the issue.
The marginal median player's participation. But it costs you almost nothing to believe that your absentation mattered, because you'll never get direct feedback proving it didn't. So the boycott becomes expressive.
Well, of course you get... What do you mean you don't get direct feedback proving it didn't? Because, here's the thing. If you have a collective group of people come together and say, stop spending money, and then nothing changes, that is direct feedback that nothing changed. And that sucks. So that doesn't make sense. I find that strange.
Statement about what kind of player you are and the kind of industry you'd want to believe you're pushing back up against, dressed up in the language of instrumental impact. None of this means that the expressive value is irrational, by the way. If you want to actually feel like you didn't participate in a monetization scheme you find predatory, skipping the purchase delivers that regardless of whether it changes anything at the publisher level. That is a coherent utility function. The irrationality only kicks in when a YouTube video, or your own internal narrative, tells you that your individual boycott is doing something to the industry's incentive structure, efficacy-wise, while the whale math says it almost certainly isn't.
And yet there are multiple cases in the past that prove this wrong, where people band together and deprive the company of dollars, and it makes them change something.
And there's a second problem stacked on top of the first. Information. A ballot has two names on it. You can research two candidates.
Like the World of Warcraft example, for instance.
Judging whether a game's monetization is predatory or fine, actually, requires you to understand drop rates, pity timers, the psychology of variable ratio reinforcement, whether this...
I think most people that play games and that have these systems understand how they work. I think people... I like to give people more credit than I think this guy is giving. People understand what they're getting themselves into. Most people are intelligent enough to understand that what they're being sold in a video game is specifically designed to make them want to spend as much money as possible. I think most people get that, especially now more than ever, because of access to information being the easiest now than it ever has been before. Because, your typical normie now is way more informed about what they engage in than even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, right? Just because, again, access to information and what's thrust in your face, even just by opening fucking Twitter. Like, you spend 20 minutes, like, you play video games, right? And just because of your online activity, you're going to be inevitably fed a post about, like, these games are scamming you. What? My games are scamming me. And then they become at least indirectly informed. Class, remember, the final test will have questions based on this presentation, so you better be paying attention. There will be a quiz at the end. I might not finish this video.
Studio disclosed odds and how the economy is tuned server side, most of which isn't public. Almost nobody does this research. Most players are rationally ignorant of the mechanics.
That's just
because
not
the cost
true.
of finding out is high, and the payoff, per the point above,
That is simply not true. I think, again, most people that play a video game understand how these games work. I fail to see where they get this from. Like, most people playing, say, I don't know, World of Warcraft or TF2 understand, like, okay, there's item drops, we understand the rates, we know values and rarities. Like, most people have at least a loose idea of how these things work. Perhaps this is my own bias coming in because I know all of these things, but I think a lot of people do. Perhaps it is more game dependent. So, yeah, especially when their money is involved, I think a lot of people are more concerned. Well, okay, perhaps it is a bit more subjective, you know, here and there. If you just say you can't control your impulsive spending and shut the fuck up. Here's the thing. There are a lot of stupid people out there. You know, there is the other side to this coin where there are a lot of stupid people that frivolously spend money without thinking. They really do. I know some of them. The people that dump hundreds of dollars a month in buying Pokemon cards or getting takeout food or dropping shitloads of money into a gacha. I know people that do this. Like, I know whales. I know people that dump money without really thinking about it. I think they understand that what they're doing is wasting their money. It's just that they don't care. I think people just don't care. I think they know where their money is going. I think they understand that they're wasting it. It's just that they don't care. Because they've become numb, either because, yeah, it's an addiction, or because they become disillusioned with the systems they're subject to, and they just don't give a fuck, and so they'll spend a ludicrous amount of money and just pretend that the repercussions aren't going to come back and bite them in the ass years later, or sooner. Stupid people like the very person that made the video you're reacting to. I don't think he's stupid. I think he's just these are some missteps in his interpretations of what people are trying to do when they have a collective boycott on something for a video game. I think the more powerful angle when it comes to boycott is the PR aspect of it, because once something gets big enough, like a boycott or the idea of a boycott becomes big enough, it becomes harder to stop because of the momentum it gains. Because I think, like, especially now with TF2, like the Save TF2 and Fix TF2 movements have given such negative PR to Valve that there's significantly more people now that are way more wary of where their dollars are going inside of Team Fortress 2 and are way more hesitant to spend that money based on the quality of what they're being given. Whereas in years past, most people really didn't give a shit, but now because of, you know, more information being given to the player through something like a boycott or a movement, it informs more players and gets them on the same page of, oh, maybe I should be a bit more thoughtful before I give my money to this company because, oh shit, look at what they're not doing or look at what they are doing, that kind of thing. Do I think convenience creates apathy? Yes. I think if there's the less resistance someone has to their end goal, the less they care about, say, long-term repercussions. The easier it becomes to spend your money, the less time. Like, that's the thing. This is why they put slot machines in the lobby of a casino. The first thing you see when you walk into a fucking casino hotel, the first thing you see are slot machines. The less time you have to think about spending your money, the more likely you're going to spend your money because you're not going to talk yourself out of it. The easier it is to spend your money, the more apathy you're going to have towards whatever that money is going towards. Right? The longer you have, the bigger of a delay, it's going to give people second doubts. You know, it's going to give people second thoughts. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do this. But like, if you decrease that time by making it super convenient, you're going to get more money out of people.
Basically nothing. Stated preference is different from revealed preference. The vote usually gets cast on whatever is the community's current outrage cycle, or a single viral clip decided what the narrative was, which is not a neutral source of ballot information. This shows up as a real attitude behavior gap in the gaming audience. The same players who loudly declare, "I never buy a loot box" in comment sections, are, in aggregate, the population that makes loot box economies some of the most profitable systems in the entire industry. People say they oppose predatory monetization, they oppose it at rates that don't remotely match what the revenue data shows about actual spending. That is exactly what you
I think that ties into a lot of people engaging in video game discourse, and they don't actually play the games. I think that happens a lot more outside of Team Fortress 2 as well. But again, what happens is you get more people informed and on board, including the players. Again, this is what happened with Save TF2 and Fix TF2. That if you get enough people there, then it makes them stop. Because here's the thing. Like, in recent months, you know, we'll just use my own audience as an example. Like, how many of you, you know, and this isn't me tooting my horn. I'm repeating what other people have told me. How many of you didn't really think that much about what Valve was doing before you saw someone else being more critical? Because what I find oftentimes is that it takes someone else to kind of open up someone's eyes. Because I've been told this countless times by people in my audience, like, wow, I never thought about it that way. Wow, I didn't realize how much Valve sucks and with what they were doing, that kind of thing, right? Also, going back to this poll, 85% of people in my audience spent at least $10 on Team Fortress 2, and it's probably more. That's a lot of people spending money on this game. And if half of those people stopped spending money, like, you're not whales. The 85% of you in my audience are not whales. If you all stopped spending money, the whales could keep spending money, but that's the billion minus one argument, where it drops their rate of revenue enough to strike the fear of God in them and go, whoa, what the fuck's going on, right? But also, for a lot of you, they already got your money. They already got their profit out of you. And you haven't spent money on the game in years. It varies from person to person. This video kind of sucks. I want to stop it. I'm bored.
Predict if the...
I'm going to move on. I am bored with this video. I just disagree with the premise that voting with your wallet is not protesting, when time and time again, it has shown to be effective. Either because it has the direct impact of depriving the company of dollars and then they get their act together, or it informs the player to start treating these games differently, right? Yeah, it is something of a defeatist video, right? So, what have you. Either way. Torrid's videos were interesting despite my disdain for matchmaking in TF2. Yeah, he did make another video making the case for matchmaking in TF2. I think I should watch that, but not today, because the video is quite long, and I don't think I want to stream for 2 more hours. Lordy. Can I see dislikes? Yeah, not that many. It's not a high view video, but this was sent to me at least 10 times by different people, so I figured I'd give this video a fair shake, but I really don't feel like finishing it. There's been a ton of gaslight that voting with your wallet doesn't work, and most of it's pushed by PR firms. I mean, that's also a big thing too. You have to think about where your information's coming from. It's not coming from this guy, like a guy with 10,000 subs on YouTube's not trying to psyop you into thinking that voting with your wallet doesn't work. It does. At the end of the way, depriving the dollars is the best way to get a company to react, if not giving them bad PR. That's also a very effective angle, if not one of the most effective angles. It's not a great video, but not a bad channel. He's usually giving enough material for a conversation, IMO. Yeah, and listen, I'm not going to pretend that I'm an economist. I'm not going to pretend that I have a higher understanding of how, you know, arguments versus different forms of economies and shit like that. I'm no expert in government. I study rocks, right? But when it relates to TF2 and it relates to Valve and whatnot, just the premise of voting with your wallet not working is not protesting, I just think this is a false statement. I think it's one of the best ways to protest a game company doing something you find disagreeable. Especially me, because, like, it worked on me. I'm a living example. I used to spend a ridiculous amount of money on Team Fortress 2. I spent tens of thousands. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on TF2 from when I first started up until a few years ago. I spent shitloads of money on this game. And I stopped because I fucking hate what Valve is doing. I was fed up. I quit. Like, it's not like a set, definite, concrete thing. I'm an example of someone that stopped whaling. I used to whale. I used to spend shitloads. Like, my inventory used to be worth like $30,000, and I sold that shit. I forgot the third place game's going on between England and France. Yeah, England's gonna win. France had no chance. The Steam Machine release and Valve not fixing game-breaking bugs like Pyro ramp-up was the tipping point for me when I started to despise Valve. For me, it was the bots and them just not doing anything. You know, when it came down to, like, me, I got numb to bots. I got very numb to bots around, like, the 2020, 2021 mark, and I just kind of receded into community servers. But then when the content they were shipping in the game just got so bad, I was like, okay, what the fuck are you guys doing? You can't even get the goddamn skins right. I used to give them the benefit of the doubt when it came to dealing with waves of cheaters because that's a more complex problem. But when they're not even curating the content anymore, that's just inexcusable. And so then I started clamping down and just like, fuck you, Valve, I'm done. Stop it. What are you doing? What are you doing, Valve? Do we need brain rot? I don't know if we need brain rot. I don't think my brain... Is my brain in the mood for brain rot? I don't think it is. Spent around $12 on a 5-year period playing the game on a regular basis. Dude, you're fucking... Thing is, though, they got your money. They got your money out of you. Oh, Scrandle. We forgot Scrandle. Yes, we did. We gotta do Scrandle. Thank you for reminding... I have to remember to do that. I keep forgetting. Scrandle. Very important. Let's do it. Ooh. Cheesesteak or double Monterey Jack cheese? Dude, that fucking cheesesteak looks heavenly. Oh my god, that looks good. Dude, I'm thinking the cheesesteak. Look at the fucking melty-ass cheese, and this looks way better to me. But the size of the fries is something else. Listen, this isn't the score. I'm voting which one looks better to me, okay? I'm making the executive decision. I think this one looks tastier. I think that one looks tastier. Okay, now we're into the scoring. Okay, obviously the chili nachos is the winner because what the fuck is this? Donor meat chips and cheese pie? Ugh. Scotland, get your act together. What are you selling? This looks like dog food. My god, the nachos is the clear winner. You can't even see the chips except like right there. But my god. Large donor meat or chicken and chips? Both of these look equally unappetizing. Roughly the same price. Looks like you get a little bit more food on this side. I'm thinking chicken. A lot of y'all are saying the meat, though. A lot of y'all saying the meat. No, this isn't America. This is English fare right here. You people across the pond don't eat very differently than we do. Don't get all Puritan on our asses when y'all eat just as much slop as we do. Next call-in stream, I try to keep those at once a month, so it's not going to be until August. This is tricky. We have to think about which one people voted more for. Which one looks tastier. I don't know. The chicken does look better, but I think people are probably going to be more biased towards the meat. and it's cheaper, I think it's the meat. I'm gonna click the meat. Yeah, it's the meat. Okay. We're going for score here, not opinion. We're going for... Yo, $5 on this shitty popcorn or a burger with onion. That little pathetic squirt of mustard, that's just sad. That's just sad. But for $1 more, I think the burger is the winner. This is almost the same price. I think the burger's the winner because the popcorn for the same price is just not worth it. I think the burger, yeah, like 11% on the fucking popcorn's crazy. Huh? What is this? What the fuck is I don't know what that is. What is this? Chicken paste in deep fried bread. Okay. Versus chicken tenders and fries for $20. What are we doing? Huh? New Jersey, what the fuck are you doing selling chicken tenders for $20? This is $1. This is $1. What the fuck are you doing? Huh? Are you insane? La Sandwich, I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce that. Sausage, onions, and Saint Marceline sauce. That looks tasty. For $6, dude? Does it come with the wine? If it comes with the wine, I'm sold. Versus Balti pie and samosa with mint and chili sauce. Both of these, this is a close one. I think the French one's gonna win. Price points are roughly the same. This is very carb heavy. You got bread with like a bread pie with another bread pie. Only the Brits do this. Only the British do this. I have not seen any other country do this. Brits, you guys across the pond, I don't know what is wrong. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Like, Americans deep fry everything. I own that. We own that shit. We deep fry everything, but what you guys do, like, you put sandwiches in sandwiches in sandwiches. That's what this is. Like, a Pop-Tart's not good enough. You have to put the Pop-Tart between 2 slices of bread, wrap that in a tortilla, and then deep fry it inside a samosa. What is wrong with you guys and your bread? Stop it. No wonder your teeth are terrible. You only eat brown food. I think it's the French sandwich. Yeah, French sandwich. Yeah, just objectively tastier looking. Salt and chili chicken pie. I don't know if I want to have a salt pie. What's this? Oh, ew. Why do you have like the little like edible paper marker on top of it? Oh, this one doesn't look, this looks like something they made at home. They gave him Tupperware. It looks like they gave him some fucking Tupperware. Oh my God. It's like you have like how is this Chinese? You have just chicken tenders on ramen with some egg rolls. Are those rangoons, like crab rangoons, and ketchup. What is this? For $12, pounds, whatever, versus salt and chili chicken pie. I think, like these are equally shit, but I think the Chinese box is the winner. I think the Chinese box is the winner. I'm doing the Chinese box. Yeah. Both are very low rated, but Chinese box. Oh, easy winner. Hot dog. Oh, hold on. $2? The price point on that is pretty fucking good. What's up? What's this? Huh? Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. I have just been delivered something to my door. We have Pandy Sour Cola Swedish Candy. Sugar-free? I don't know where this was found. But we have Swedish candy? Huh? I'm always wary about sugar-free stuff because this gives you the runs. Also, it's Swedish. I'm gonna taste it right now. It was just hand delivered to me. It's sour cola. I don't know what it's shaped like, but we'll open it up. I'm only eating one because I don't want a shotgun diarrhea out of my ass. Oh. Oh. Oh, what is that smell? Pandy is a Swedish company that offers sugar-free candy. We create healthier alternatives to popular candy flavors where you can enjoy throughout the week. Monday to Sunday. Our candy is produced in Sweden, and our mission is to provide snack lovers with a delicious candy all around the world. Less sugar, more joy, read more. So no bovine gelatin, sugar-free, gluten-free, non-GMO. Ingredients list including polydextrose, water, isomalto oligosaccharides, vegetable, erythritol, erythritol, gelatin, malic acid, carnauba wax, asulfame K, sucralose, natural and artificial flavors, and caramel color. This smells awful, by the way. This stinks. Like, this smells like manure. Also, what is this shape, dude? It looks like a fucking... What is this shape? What is that? What is this meant to be? Camera, hello? Focus on that. What the fuck is that meant to be? What is this? Huh? A bottle opener? I guess a bottle opener? These do not smell good, okay? Is it gonna be worse than the peanut butter soda? I'm not sure, but... Okay, the taste is pretty fucking good. Oh, wait, hold on. That's so weird, because... Yeah, the aftertaste is hitting. Yeah, it's initially very tasty. It's very, you know, cola flavor forward. And it is sour. Not like super sour, but like, you know, tangy sour. But then you get this rotten sock aroma kind of hitting the back of your palate. That's the best I can describe it. It has the aftertaste of how it smells, in that it kind of smells like socks. It's not expired. It's well within date. If you don't mind whatever this aftertaste is, I'd give it like a 4 out of 10. But I'm definitely not finishing the bag. Because whatever that strange aroma and flavor is... It's not pleasant. It's not good. Set that aside and maybe someone else in my family will enjoy those more than me. It's not tasty. It's not tasty at all. Holy moly. Okay. The paprika fries are very cheap. This is hard. Because for me, I see the hot dog and fries, I'm like, fuck yeah, but for 12 bucks, dude? Versus a $2 serving of fries. It's not that many fries, but they are seasoned. I do think a lot of people go off of visuals. I think this guy overdressed the dog. I think the guy overdressed the dog. But I still think it's the winner. I do. I think just because it's more food. But it is expensive. But the fries do look nice. I don't want to. I want 100%. Okay, fries or dog? Fries or dog? You guys, I'll let you choose. I'm torn. Fries or dog? Whichever one I see more, I'm gonna pick. It's close, but I think it's fries. All right, we're clicking the fries, dude. Oh my god, you were right! It is the fries! No way! Okay, chat is the winner on that one. Chat's the winner. It's the fries. Definitely the price point saving that one, man. Because visually, that hot dog and fries was a little bit sad. And for 12 pounds, fuck that shit. 15 bucks? Yo, bucket of chicken. Spot. Holy shit, that fuck. Okay. Someone oh, look at this. My camera's in the way. Men out there in the world, I know women say they doll themselves up, you know, because they want to look nice, but I have a bone to pick. Men, gentlemen, does anyone find this remotely attractive or appealing? Does anyone look at this and go, damn, that woman has nice nails? What man? I don't see a man that looks at this ever and goes, "Yep, that's how I want my lady's hands to look." Like, I don't look at this and think feminine. I look at this and think demon. I look at this and think like, shit, it's gonna claw my eyes out. I'm not picky either, okay? I don't look at this and go, ugh. Maybe a little bit. I don't like long nails. I think manicured nails look nice. Manicured nails look nice, but like the long nails is no, yes, I know women doll themselves up because of intersexual competition. They're competing with other women, trying to outdo the females next to them. I know that's why they do it. I know, but also women doll themselves up for men. They want to look good for men, but also to compete with other women. I get that. But the long nails thing is not done for men. It's definitely like done for some other reason, likely to compete with other women. But the real debate here is a 9-pound, 10-pound Cuban sandwich that looks pathetically sad, or a 3-pound bucket of spicy chicken in from Korea. I think it's the chicken. I think it's the bucket of chicken. I think Scout wins on this one. It's absolutely the chicken. Oh yeah, like not even a contest. Absolutely the chicken. Oh, again, not even a contest. That looks beautiful. Buffalo popcorn chicken with waffle fries underneath, dude. There's fries underneath this for not that much more than a sad pie, potato, and mashed peas. Like, not even a contest. Not even a contest. It's free. This is free. Included in hospitality ticket, or a really sad burger and fries for 10. We might lose on this one. This one is free, and people generally gravitate towards the free food. Whenever there's a freebie on the table, remember that awful lobster chicken salad thing from last time? That one won because it was free. This is free with purchase of ticket. I mean, I'd fuck that up. I like sausage. The thing is, it's so dry. There's no gravy. There's no sauce, right? I mean, this looks dry as hell too. Like, no. Who has a burger without at least mayonnaise, mustard, or ketchup? And yes, I know the cost of the food is wrapped up into the ticket. I understand that. I get that. Gotta remember service value here. I'm thinking people chose the free food. I do. It does look a little bit like a fake dog poop. A little bit. But I think people chose the sausage. But the fries look good. I'll let you guys choose. Sausage or burger? Which one wins? Ooh, it's so split. It's so split, man. Oh, it's close. It is so close, dude. I still think it's the freebie. I do. It is. It is. It's free. We got the hundo. We got the 100%. Even though both were low rated, the freebie wins. It does. The freebie wins, man. Clean sweep, 100% on the Scrandle. We did it. Fantastic. We did it. We win. Good shit. Big W today. Big fat fucking W. As the kids say. I don't... In their day-to-day life. Out of curiosity, do people use this language? Like when you're at work, you go, hey, it was a big W. Did I cut out? Sorry. Didn't mean to cut out. Oh, hey, I got word that they're shipping. Your plushies are apparently on the way for those who purchased one. And we'll have a little contest. When you get your plushie, whoever takes a picture of it and sends me and whoever takes the funniest picture with the plushie and makes me laugh the most, I'll gather a gallery of them. Take a picture with your plushie. Whoever makes me laugh the most, you'll get like a free prize. You'll get like a TF2 item. I'll make it good. I'll make it like at least like an unusual taunt or something. It's at least like, you know, $5-6. Something like just something fun. Don't put her in a fucking jar. I know someone's gonna do it. Her fucking hair? You're gonna need a big ass jar because you need a whole jar just for her hair, okay? You need a whole ass jar just for her hair. You gotta be more you have to be more original than that. Because 7 other people are gonna stuff her inside of a jar. You're gonna have to pull out the stops, okay? It can't just be another jar joke. Jar should be disqualification. It's not automatic. It's done in a creative way. Someone's gonna do a semen tribute? No, please do not do that. Oh. I was clued into that recently. I was clued into this. Of no fault of my own, because, you know, by nature of being online, via osmosis and being around certain people, you eventually come across these things. There is a sect of people on the internet that take delight in busting on objects. Yeah, otherwise known as hot glue. I worry about people sometimes. The fucking loneliness crisis is reaching a catastrophic level when people are willingly busting on a fucking figurine or something. Help. There's a subreddit to hot gluing trees. I can't even think of a reason why someone would do that other than insanity. There's too much freedom in this fucking world. We have too much freedom. No, listen. I think people should be allowed to do what they want to a certain extent. Obviously, don't bring harm towards other people. But busting on trees, I hope it's within your own property lines and where no one can see you. But also, if you're uploading that to the internet, I'm gonna worry about you. Maybe not worry, but I'm gonna be concerned about sharing a same space a little bit. I'm gonna be a little scared. It's old fetish. There's sculpture fall in love with his sculpt of women Roman day. Oh, well, I know, like, at least in modern times, there's certain people that become infatuated with inanimate objects. It's not this specific show, but like My Strange Addiction, where there was a woman that fell in love with roller coasters. I've seen that before. That's kind of insane. Have I heard of jizzy carts? What the fuck is jizzy carts? I'm gonna Google that on my phone, not on this desktop, just in case it shows me something I don't want shown on stream. What the fuck is jizzy carts? Jizzy carts. Close that tab. There is an epidemic. There's a lack of sunshine epidemic. Also, how do you know about this? There is a lack of sunshine epidemic. I think there truly is. People do not go outside anymore. That's an obvious statement. When you're whipping it out and busting a fucking hot load on a game cartridge, and there's a group of people that do this, and they obviously get some kind of satisfaction out of it. We need, listen, if I were in charge of the world, mandate 1 hour max online daily so people don't do these things, so people don't fall into these groups. I'm scared. People like this exist. I will absolutely delete that from my search history. Jesus Christ. No, man, I need YouTube 24/7. Some people do, man. Some people need constant noise in one ear or something. May Allah help us, inshallah. Should have opened an incognito tab. I just don't care. The government already knows every single thing I look at. I just don't care. I really don't. It's everything. They know everything. The commentary YouTuber, his name is Tuv, made a Reddit's Darkest Corners video, and our Jizzy Carts was the first one. My God. There's a chance my N64 game has been consent. There's a chance my game cartridges have received a load on them. I know I've seen worse. I've seen worse. It's just I'm always surprised by how strange people can get. There's always something stranger. There's always something more bizarre, more sociopathic online. And there's always something new to strike the fear of God into me. Nightmare-inducing horrors beyond your imagination always await you in the darkest corners of the internet. In this instance, busting a nut on a fucking game cartridge. Help us. 1% too high. This has to be anti-physical media sabotage. What do you mean anti? I don't think anyone's inherently anti-physical media other than like the most cucked of consumers. Only the most cucked of consumers are anti-physical media. Otherwise people care or they're indifferent. Yeah, I need to play the other Metroid games on stream. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time to stream more and do more things on stream. I had a lot of fun doing mostly non-TF2 related things today. This was a fun different stream for like where I like got to speak about different things, and that was fun. I might do this more often. But I do want to play all of the Metroid games on stream at some point. It's just that I can only stream 2 or 3 days a week, and only for a few hours, you know? I have other responsibilities. Become more parasocial. Well, I need to be a woman, and I need a VTuber avatar for that, if I'm going to become more parasocial. Only the smallest handful of men can become ultra parasocial online and get away with being successful. The ones that become too parasocial become lolcows when they reveal too much. And then again, it fucks them up and it gets to their head. Don't do it. Don't do it. Voice changer? No. No, I don't do that. Am I parasocial? In what way? What's the line? Here's the thing. Like, I don't flirt. I think a lot of streamers do this. A lot of streamers flirt with their audience. Like so many people do it. And like, maybe not even fully intentionally. I just kind of see them doing that. It kind of rubs me the wrong way. Constantly flirt with you. Dude, I don't swing that way. I don't do that shit. 4-0 England, France. Man, that is brutal. France just gave up. They did. They just conceded 4th place. When I'm drunk? How? Okay. Be real. What is like the most parasocial thing I've done? Because I can't really think of anything that extreme. Sharing personal stories, I guess, of like my travels or opinions on the world. I don't know. Feet, fuck off. Crying on stream because of my community? How's that parasocial? I got emotional because of the generosity of the people that view me. I have a lot of kind and generous people that watch me. Cooking? That was, listen, I had to make the mustard cupcakes. Is a cooking stream parasocial now? It's like cooking streams are very common. Is that parasocial? I feel like parasocial happens whenever like someone's reading off a friend script. And like when like the streamer tries to be friends with their audience. Like there's a difference between being friendly and then like being like, oh, I know you, I'm your friend. You like, you know, that kind of shit is like that's the parasocial line for me. They want to get like buddy, you know, like, oh, I'm your friend. You know, you want to listen to your friend. You want to like donate to your friend. And then it leans even further when they do like a girlfriend or a boyfriend script, and it gets like even more creepy and what have you. Or like sexual and shit. A lot of streamers do that. I think that's my personal line. Perhaps your personal line is different. I know a streamer that has a close circle of femboys he accidentally groomed in his chat. I don't think that's accidental. You don't accidentally acquire a harem of femboys. I think that shit's deliberate. That's deliberate. I don't buy that as being accidental for a fucking second. Yeah, accidentally my bare ass. Think parasocials when a streamer is doing something, and when he does something or he says we did it, implying the audience even though they didn't do jack shit unless they backseated. I think it depends on the act in question. Like we together today, it was you guys. We did this. We got the 10 out of 10 because you guys voted on 2 of these. So that was a contribution from you. France scored 4-1. It just doesn't matter. It's over. At least it's not a complete blowout. They managed to get 1 goal. 95% of VTubers are parasocial by nature. Most of them are women, and they make their money by being parasocial. Most of them. I'm not saying all of them, right? I'm not saying like every single VTuber does like the pick me girlfriend thing, but that is where they get most of their success. I feel like that's just undeniable. They made money by being nice. It's not just being nice. It's they're like, because like there's a difference between being nice and then there's a difference when they kind of deliberately choose specific topics for the grift, talking about like relationships or dating or politics, and then, you know, depending on the model they have, swinging the titties and giggling like, oh, you know, they roll the girlfriend script kind of thing. They do that kind of bullshit, you know. That to me, they're not being nice to you. They're deliberately acting in an alluring way to get you to keep coming back. And again, not all of them do this, but most of them do, because it's what makes them money. VTubers didn't start this way, but once cam girls figured out they can tap into a much larger market of men online by donning a VTuber avatar, then VTubing mostly became online prostitution. Perhaps that's a bit harsh, but that's my interpretation mostly, is it mostly became LARPing as a fan of anime and online prostitution. Like I saw a few funny tweets going around a couple weeks ago of like there were photos from a really big anime convention. I don't know which one, and they compared photos of an anime convention from 2026 to 2010, and the difference is astonishing. It is like night and day difference. Like the anime convention from 2010, you could I don't have the posts anymore, they're gone, but like the conventions from 2010 were purely the nerds. Only the nerds. Almost everyone's in cosplay. You can tell these are the nerds, not just because people were fat, but because, you know, how they stood and behaved, and there's like significantly fewer people. You can tell that like these were the true fans of anime and the games and whatnot. Then they showed the photos from 2026. It was, and I shit you not, flooded with people that looked nothing like actual anime fans, and then a bunch of like chicks in basic like borderline stripper gear, like filming themselves twerking and shit, and advertising their OnlyFans and whatnot, like just full of porn stars and their fan bases flooding into these conventions. Like not actual anime fans. It was pretty pathetic. We need to like bar these people from going to these things. Cinder set VTubers back 30 years, man, 1,000 page. I don't know who that is. I'm not familiar with names. I just from an outsider, someone that doesn't really watch them, I like observe, I like survey how these people behave, and I'm like, oh, that's what they do. That's how they make their money. Nerd culture lost the plot. I think nerd culture, they can LARP and make a lot of money from it. And then once they got the reins, it brought in a whole lot of other people and kind of pushed the nerds out. I don't know where it cut me off. But yeah, nerd culture has definitely been kind of pushed out because, again, normies figured out they could make a lot of money by tapping into the nerd culture. And then, as a result, it opened up the floodgates for other people that aren't, like, super invested. They just kind of follow the figureheads involving themselves in the nerd culture. They come for the person and not the actual culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this happens all the time specifically, but it's definitely a significant amount of this adjustment in traffic with nerd culture. It's having these spaces invaded by fans of the streamers or the YouTubers that are coming into these spaces. My fucking monitor just broke. Cool. Awesome. God damn it. These are like brand new. Fuck. Not ideal. Cinder, I'm assuming Cinder's a VTuber. Cinder did IRL corporate sabotage and tried to get other VTubers banned or blacklisted from certain communities. Genuine psychopath. It's insane. Her friends were crying on stream when they found out. This doesn't sound like a pleasant person to be around. This sounds... I know nothing about this. This is the only information I have. I don't know how accurate this is. I don't know the details, so take this with a grain of salt. Literally who. But whenever I see someone doing that, it comes off as very terminally online behavior. It comes off as someone living some kind of life outside of reality. Like you're not involving yourself in people that are anchored in the real world anymore. You've drifted too far away from the people that keep you grounded. That's how I view these kinds of things. Beyond that, I don't really know anything about these people, like at all. France scored again, 4-2. Oh shit, dude. You love to see it. You love to see it. Still 4-2. If France catches up, that's insane. This goes above unemployed drama. Lives were ruined. Plenty of vids summarizing the 1,000 page. If there's a 1,000 page document written about a VTuber, I feel like that just reinforces the unemployed nature of this. Who has time to write a 1,000-page document about a VTuber? What are we doing? Like, I'm not dismissing that these things happened, right? I'm not saying that bad things didn't happen. I just find, as an observer, writing a 1,000-page document for drama, like, no one read all of that, or maybe someone did, but like most people didn't. I made a 4-hour video on a matchmaking system. Yeah, because that impacts significantly more people, because it's a game hundreds of thousands of people love, and it's a story showing, well, actually it's a story that everyone needs to hear about what happens when a game company mistreats one of the best games ever made. I am satisfied with that video. I would do it 1,000,000 times. Also, that script was probably 100 pages, not 1,000. Collaboration with 8... Wait, there's victims in this? What did this person do? Like, I'm only... I just don't... I'll hunt down some video to inform myself on this, maybe. But, like... it's just internet drama. It's just more internet drama. Like, what do you mean by... I hear victim, my brain immediately goes to something far more heinous. You know? Like, I think of, like, physical or sexual assault or abuse or something horrible of that kind of nature, right? I know people, like, make entire livings talking about this shit, but I don't know. All my ex-girlfriends were victims of me is an insane thing to type. Oh my god. What did you do? Writing 1,000-page fiction is hard. Just putting stuff that happened to you gets in 5 hours. Writing 1,000 pages about anything is a feat in of itself. Jesus. You know what? I'm glad I just stay in my lane. Maybe not my lane. I'm just glad I don't involve myself with, like, other YouTubers, really, other than, like, Lucid and Richter. But, like, we're just friends. Like, these are people I've met in real life, and we've hung out, and they're good people. I'm not internet buddies or, like, collaborators with other streamers and shit. I'm glad I just keep to myself, because, like, every step of the way, whenever you interact, not even, like, befriend or be friendly with another YouTuber or streamer, but the moment you begin interacting with someone and you only know them through the internet, you don't actually know the person. And now you're attached to whatever they do. And so I feel like the people that involve themselves with, you know, a lot of other big public figures, it just opens themselves to a lot of drama when just don't do it, you know? Cinder was the King Von of VTubing. I'm not being hyperbolic. She was crazy, man. Nobody did it like her. So this was a big VTuber, okay? A very big VTuber. All the victims are still GamerSupps partners and have careers and still do terrible things. This just sounds like a bunch of people I want nothing to do with. I'm just gonna point and laugh at the dumpster fire it is, and I'm just gonna, you know, do my own thing. And stick to that. I guess this is what this is the next evolution from Hollywood drama, because people used to really care about celebrity drama. You know, like what the latest thing Kim Kardashian is doing. Now no one gives a shit because all the celebrities are online. They're all streamers and YouTubers. And now it's all about, like, what fucking, I don't know, Asmongold ate for breakfast. Did you see that he ate like a fucking tire? No way! 50 million videos. Who does this? Who watches this? It's so much. It's so much to keep up with. Yeah, it's like high school drama. These are grown-ass adults. Drama amongst grown adults acting like high school girls. The thing is, there's a market for it because humans have always had this desire for blood, either literally or metaphorically. You know, it's why the Roman Colosseum was so successful. People in their day-to-day lives have a lot of pent-up stress and worry that they release via viewing other people's plight, and it's a good distraction from their own. And so as a result, they take great delight in watching the downfall or drama of other people, and I think that's why it does so well. I know I'm not saying anything eye-opening or revolutionary here, but I do believe that's the main reason why this stuff gets so popular. So, anyway, I think I've exhausted my talking points for the day. I'm going to stop the stream. Thank y'all for hanging out today. Fun, lots of fun talking points, a chill time. Next week, I will do a Fallout stream, but I really, really need to make some serious headway on this fucking video, because I only have like 4 weeks to finish it before I go overseas again, so I gotta grind this out. I'm gonna do my best to keep doing my normal streams on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. If there are changes, I will let you know inside of the announcements Discord. Okay. Short stop video is on the way. I'm gonna crank this shit out as fast as possible. I am kind of worried about it because I haven't done a weapon video in years. I hope it doesn't suck. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope my perspective on how the gun was handled will be entertaining to you. We'll see. Other than that, thank you for watching. Thank you all for your lovely donations today. You're all very lovely people, very kind people. And I will see you on Wednesday. What am I doing on Wednesday? I don't know yet. I will let you know. Goodbye.